If we really lived all that, we would not be able to get out of fucking bed. So if you ain't, because he's a black guy, he's not thinking about all that other shit when he's signing those deals with Brooklyn. He's not thinking about that joint when he's signing Nike or whoever his shoe deal with, right? He's not thinking about all of those ways that those people are perceiving him as a black man in America. But for this specific subject matter, you care enough to keep saying no homo, to keep saying pause. You care enough because that small little perception, you gotta knock. Niggas can't even eat hot dogs. Y'all niggas can't even eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
Niggas can't even enjoy a wiener in their mouth. Yeah. For God's sakes.
Yo.
Without niggas freaking trolling them. Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Welcome back, challengers. This is season 1, episode 6 of Challenge Day. I'm your man's Darwin Mesidou, aka Darwin Darko. You can find me on the Twitter, Darwin_Darko. Check out the show notes. There should be a link for you there.
I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. Just in case you missed it before, that little sidebar there. Check us out on our socials on IG, TikTok, and YouTube. It's at Another Challenge Day. Check us out. So, and get game for sure, because you definitely need it.
Before we get started, I actually want to just quick callback on a couple of things.
Absolutely.
One, we talked about the balloon from China last time, and it flew across the country and it got shot down off the coast of South Carolina, and then within the following week, several other unidentified objects was shot down, and they came to the microphone saying we can't confirm or deny that these was from China. What they was.
Is that right?
They say the one thing that we can't confirm is that they're not alien in origin.
Oh, really?
So I mean, of course you're gonna say that, but it's like, okay, we don't have any evidence that these things are of alien in origin, but as soon as you say it out loud, everybody that's conspiracy tinfoil hat person out there,
oh my God,
it's like, aha, of course they would say that, right? And it's like now you got them running off this freaking ledge thinking that, okay, you had the government trying to cover up some alien fucking technology that is in our skies. Did you hear anything about people thinking like these could have been actual aliens that they shot down?
I have heard, like, just through like weird channels, whether that be social media or YouTube or whatever. Like, I have heard people talk about it, and I'm just kind of like, come on, y'all. Like, we gotta be better as a people, man.
You
like,
can't give him an inch.
You can't. Like,
give him an
like
inch,
the internet is undefeated. Like, you can't. You give the internet a little bit of.
There's gonna be enough people come out for that bit,
bro. And so it's just kind of like, really, like, we're not even gonna critically think about this. We're just gonna go with it, and like someone is just gonna come up with some kind of conspiracy, and we're just gonna run with it. Is that what we do now? As
but
humans?
it's the thing is like when you get all clandestine with the people from the podium, like,
that's the reason why they hide some
you should know. You should know what you're setting up when you say certain things to the public. You should be a pro at this, right?
Yeah.
And you are like, oh, we don't know what it is. Wait a second. So when we was a balloon, you knew what that was. So if it was another balloon, you would probably have identified it was a balloon, right? But you said it wasn't that, but you couldn't confirm what it was. But you were certain enough that you could shoot it and it would come down. So you tried to shoot it. Matter of fact, they missed one of the Sidewinder missiles. Right, it ended up just missing it, and it landed in the lake somewhere.
Oh, I was like, where did that missile go?
It just landed in a lake somewhere, right?
Okay, we'll take your word for it.
But they got this is what I'm saying, right? Right. These people, wherever that small town was, never to be heard from again. Whatever that little cabin in the woods was, whatever. They say it fell in the lake. But the second one got it.
I hope it wasn't Sokovia.
Well, we about to we about to we about to we about to have a rise on our hands. We were finna come together. You know what I mean? We didn't come together when COVID happened, which was almost like an alien life form, really,
Yeah.
because this was a global entity, let's call it, that attacked the entire globe at the same time. You
And
would
it was
think
invisible.
that's the closest thing, and it was invisible. This is the closest thing we have gotten to like an alien life form was COVID, right? In a long time. I mean, we had the plague and you had all kinds of other stuff that happened back in the day, but like the closest thing in our lifetime is this global
Yeah,
pandemic.
that's true.
And
That's true. That's a good point.
and look what happened with us. Look what happened with us. Did we come together to defeat the enemy in this World War Z, whatever the heck? No, we got even more isolated. We started banning people coming from different countries and all that kind of stuff. We started blaming countries, saying it's your fault, and people that look like them started getting attacked here, right? Just because it looked like this place that was originally where we thought the epicenter was, right? So it didn't happen. So that's just a side note to say, if it was actual aliens, mankind is doomed. This is not, it's not gonna be the global coming together that we think it'll be, because we had the alien in 2020 and we blew it. We blew it. That was almost like a test run. The aliens was like, man, let's give them this as a test run and see if they can survive this joint, bro. Millions of people died off of some just like, oh, I don't want to get the vaccine, or I refuse to socially distant. I'll just get the vaccine when it comes out. Like, but I'm gonna go party now, all kinds of stuff. So, but I'll say this: as far as the unidentified flying objects, or what they changed it to, you know, is what is it? UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. I think it might have changed the A to something else. Actually, again, which like an anonymous. Like I think it might change to anonymous or whatever. So they don't know what it is. It's in the air, right? And there's some phenomenon that's happening in the air with it. So phenomenon could be, it could be a lens refraction or something like that, refraction when you take a picture, or it could be just the atmospheric pressure is happening a particular way, it causes the cloud to do a random thing, or it could just be a party balloon that somebody let go at some party in Tucson, someone that just happened to be floating. These things, like you've done it as a kid. Remember those balloons?
Yeah.
You ever let it go? Yeah, Disney World or something like that.
Yep.
And you just kind of see it and see how far it goes until you can see it. Like you can't even see it no more. You know what I mean? It could be something like that, you know. And so
I think what you were getting at as far as the other name was UAP. I think
that's what I said. I said UAP.
Oh, I thought you said UAV. Sorry.
No, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. You know. Okay. So here's one thing I'm pretty sure it's not. Is that it's not aliens. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's not aliens.
I determined that 15 seconds into your explanation.
I'm pretty sure it's not aliens, because, and this is why I can be certain. I'm not saying, and I'm not 100% sure, because I'm not, you know, it's not a lot in the world that I could be 100% certain about.
That's fair.
But yo, these niggas got technology to get over here millions of light years away. We've scanned our entire neighborhood in the terms of the solar system, and we don't have any indication of anything nearby. So if it was aliens, they came from a long distance away. And you telling me these niggas came from this far away to make it this distance to just be floating around and to be able to be shot by a Sidewinder missile? Like after you got a first shot that missed, like, whoa, what was that? Oh,
It does sound like a waste of time.
And you just get shot down by a second shot. It wasn't even like an aerial battle or nothing. So another update from last time is that Massachusetts bill that was proposed. I think I said they passed it last time mistakenly, but it was proposed. We learned that it was a Democrat that proposed it. We learned that the Democratic House was possibly going to pass it through this proposal. And so this guy, whoever, I don't remember his name. I looked it up last time. I don't remember now, but he's just all like, well, I don't see why people were taking like that. It had really good intentions. I don't know why people were getting upset about it. So they pulled it. Like, bro, there's a lot of think pieces and a lot of commentators like us that spoke on it, bro. So you can't still say you don't know why. You didn't expect it because, you know what I mean, from the position of privilege that you may be coming from, you don't see these kind of ramifications. But this is why it matters when stuff starts trending, or when stuff is making the headlines and news, because that pressure for some people in politics, it still matters. There's some folks that you can pressure them all you want to, The public could be against, for example, it's something like 70% or 75% of NRA members, right, want universal background checks for everything, right? That's NRA members, but the NRA will not allow that joint. They would not allow politicians, because the lobbying arm. They're not going to allow politicians to sniff any legislation that comes close to curtailing gun rights, even
I wasn't aware
though
of that. Okay, that's
their
very
members, the very members, are like they did. They've done studies on this, and
common sense. It's common sense.
and yeah, it's like all we're asking for is background checks, and Republican voters believe in background checks. Democratic voters believe in background checks. The average citizen believes in universal background check. It's not going to stop every gun incident out there. It's not, but it's going to be one less one. Tell that to the one family that gets saved, or the one child that doesn't get shot at that school, or the domestic violence survivor. Tell that to them, because that could have been them. And if you reduce, if you do a better background check, you make it universal, then people can. It'll make things a little bit better.
Yeah, you reduce the likelihood that these firearms will end up in the hands of someone who's mentally unstable, or those who have ill intent. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, it's mitigating risks. That's what you're looking to do, is mitigating the risks as much as possible, as best as possible, in the most feasible way as possible. So yeah, I mean, I think it's literally common sense. Like nobody out here trying to, like, this is not the Wild Wild West. Like it's supposed to be a civilized society. So I think most people, obviously the majority of average Americans, are like, yo, this makes sense. Like, we should adopt this. We should have this in place. So this is why I have problems with how influential politics is in this particular society, in this American society. So,
well, at least the pressure campaign worked in the case of Massachusetts, and they pulled it. I don't know if they're gonna try to rewrite it and try to give it legs some other way. But for now, I would say stand down, but man, you can't take a break with some of these fools, man. You stand down, you get your foot off the gas, and you rest for a minute, and they gonna something else sneaky finna happen. So how's your week been looking? Any challenges?
Yeah, actually, drinking water. I have a bad habit of not drinking enough water.
Okay, go on.
And it's you go to the restroom and I feel like if you're not evaluating yourself on a day-to-day basis, you're doing something wrong. You're doing so. If you want to progress in life, be healthy, whether that's your actual health, your financial health, professional health, all these different things, if you're not evaluating yourself at least consistently or frequently, you're not doing something right. And for me, that's water. I have a bad habit of not drinking enough water. As much as I work out and I try to eat healthy, water is just like, you remember The Simpsons? You remember The Simpsons? No, what was it? The Simpsons or was it Waterboy? I think it was Waterboy. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Like, that's what I think about when I see water, when I drink water, right? It's kind of like, it's like, and for me, the biggest thing is the taste, right? Like, I used to always say, like, water doesn't have any taste. And it's like, actually, that's not accurate. Water does have a taste. You just don't like the taste that water has. Right? And
I feel like I could barely, like, if I had some really good filtered water, Dasani I can taste. It has salt in it. They purposely put salt in it.
Dasani is, yeah.
But like, I feel like there's some water I taste don't have no taste in it.
I think the
alkaline water. You ever drink alkaline water?
I have, and it's kind of weird.
You feel like it tastes like something?
I can't put my finger on it though. It just it tastes weird. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. Like I've had that quite a few times. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. But it might be because of maybe the quality of water I've been drinking, right? But the quality of water I've been drinking has improved a lot. Like for the past, I would say past year, right? Like I've actually been drinking like filtered water instead of like, buying like the 32 packs, 64 packs, all that stuff, and like, because the plastic kind of gets water a little bit as as it's just sitting there for a while, and you know, they always say the best way to drink water is obviously filtered, but like in some kind of glass container or like tin container. So I have like I mean, you kind of saw me a couple of times. I reach over to my, you know, my water bottle, and I've gotten like really serious about like the filtered water, right? Like I have like a tank that has a filter on it, and then I pour that into my water bottle, which also has a filter in it. So it's like it's going through 2 screening phases just before I consume it. But like I realized for me, just like, you know, skin clarity, having more energy, being able to filter out my body well, like bowels, all this stuff. You know, water is very important, man. And you know, for me, a lot of it is just like laziness. You know what I'm saying, or not being constantly reminded about it. Right? When I have my water bottle in front of me and like it's in my it's in my view, my vantage point, then it just automatically reminds you, like, you know, let me go fill the bottle up and go put some water in it. So that was really been my biggest challenge this week, is just kind of like consistently consuming water, right? Honestly, it's been the challenge of my life. It's been one of the challenges in my life, just drinking more water. But I think I've been much more intentional about it this week, especially when the weather is like, when it's hot, obviously you feel more like you need water when it's hot. But when it's cold, it can be deceiving because just kind of like, you know, I'm chilling, I don't really feel thirsty. But that's when you really need to drink water, because you kind of like your lips get really dry. You get dehydrated, don't really notice it, but you get like really dehydrated, especially when the air is dry and all that stuff and it's cold. So I don't know, for me, it got a lot better, and I've just been consuming that water, and I think it's been working for me. My my urine is not as gold as it used to be. It's not as gold as it used to be. I do find myself going to the bathroom a lot. I mean, which is, if you're a person who's an avid water drinker, you go to the bathroom a lot. So it's been working for me. So that's been a challenge that I've been overcoming, that I'm continuously overcoming. And that's what I would say I've been able to accomplish as of late.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you're getting your water consumption up. Yeah. It's definitely better than, you know, some of these other things that we put in our bodies that have, you know, that come with toxins. Yeah, you know, that come with toxins that like can do damage on your digestive system, your kidney, you know, even your stomach lining,
corn syrup, you know, sodium.
So definitely, if you're drinking water, you're not, you know, you're that's a time that you're not drinking this other stuff, right? That could be affecting you in other ways.
Yeah.
However, and you didn't say this part, but I do want to say this for the record, though, is that when we grew up, they was really pushing this like 8 glasses or 8 ounces of, what is it? 8 glasses of 8 ounces of water per day. Yeah. Right. They even have, I was looking at this one post the other day that was saying about, oh, there's this 40-day challenge and you got to do this and that. And like there's these things you got to do within 40 days. So like one of them is like journal for 20 minutes. One of them is read a book for 10 minutes, something like that.
Yo, my job had us do that for like a wellness thing. I was like, I need to chill out, bro.
Like, one of the ones on this list for the 40-day challenge, is to drink a gallon of water a day.
Yo,
right? That's on the 40. So the video is about a bunch of people who feel this 40-day challenge thing, right? Here's the thing: this thing about water drinking that we've come to know it is a myth. It's actually a myth. There's not conclusive science to say that is a proper way to get water into your body. And also remember, when you're eating fruit, when you're eating a sandwich, a lettuce, or whatever, or when you're having broccoli, all these other things, they have water in them, right? Yep. It's not like you're gonna strain it and get the water, drop inside and drink the water, but there's water in it as well, in the makeup and the construct of whatever this thing is that you're eating. Also, if you're drinking apple juice or something, for example, there's a lot of sugar in it, but there's also water in there too. So the rule of thumb that that most physicians that are following the science will tell you is very easy. If you feel thirsty, drink some water. Drink some water, like follow your body. You know what I mean? Just like when you're saying, for example, just like you look at the toilet and see what the color it is, right? It's like it's not the arbiter of if you're healthy or not, because you're,
Yeah, of
it's
course not. Yeah.
clear, or if it's
Yeah.
throwing some shades and stuff like that. If it's
Yeah.
if it has some different shade, then it's like, okay, there's some, there's these toxins that it might have carried out of my, but like that doesn't mean just because your urine is clear, you got all the toxins out your body and I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm Gucci now, I'm healthy.
It
What I
just
mean?
means you're not dehydrated.
It means you're not dehydrated, but also there's a
Yeah.
problem too if you consume too much water. There's water poisoning. You know what I mean? There is
I've heard that.
certain
I've heard
things
that
too much
before.
water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your electrolytes won't get to fire as efficiently. They're essentially being drowned. In your cells. So yes, we should drink more water, and it helps to not be drinking some of this other stuff, because hey, I'm full of water now, so I'm not going to drink that beer, or I'm not going to drink that glass of wine or whatever, right? Or maybe you have a glass of wine, or you'll get your drink and then you have a glass of water with it afterwards, something like that. So you can then you feel like, oh, I'm too full to drink anything further. So it's like, okay, boom. So now you've reduced your alcohol consumption. So that helps you in that way. So like that's why good drinking water is good practice. But in terms of the health benefits of specifically targeting drinking a gallon of water, or how many glasses of water a day, the evidence for that being so beneficial to your health is really not out. It's really not out like that. It does help me feel better, I guess. You know what I mean? But I don't know. There's the science doesn't support that it's tangibly doing anything to your body when you do a gallon a day.
A gallon a day. Yeah, a gallon a day might be. I always thought that was kind of weird, because what I've also heard was, I think it depends on like your body weight. You have to drink like.
There's that too. Yeah, the whole 8 and 8 rule did not take into account your body weight.
Yeah,
so like it's just.
So I was like, okay, that can be more accurate, but I kind of that was like my conclusion on the matter as well, to be honest. Like, if your body is telling you that you're thirsty, go drink some water.
Yeah, you might be in Arizona. You might be in Arizona, and you feel like you're losing more. You're feeling thirsty because you're losing moisture from your body in all kinds of different ways, and like, boom. But like in Miami, you might not feel as thirsty because it's so humid. It's like it just sticks to you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Depends on where you're at, depending on your weight, depending on your age, depending on the rest of your diet. You know what I mean? If all you're eating is chips all day, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not going to get those the auxiliary liquid or auxiliary water from the other things that you would get in your diet, because you're just eating chips or something like that all day. Or
and all that salt, all that salt, and all that sodium. Yeah, for real. Them joints like, bro, them joints should clog your whole esophagus. And
I listened to somebody the other day that said
Popeye's biscuits are dangerous, bro.
They said that they don't
it's like eating clay.
They don't never drink. They don't never drink when they eat food. And I said,
I've been hearing that from so many people. Like
they would eat their food and then they would drink whatever drink they have afterwards. I'm like, that sounds like a person who's never had a Popeye's biscuit. That person is not. That's how I know. Like,
that's likely true.
No shade, but I know you've never been to Popeye's. That's how I know. That's how I know, because you ain't had the biscuit. You tell me you're gonna wait,
bruh,
after. You ain't gonna make it. It's like flying Spirit Airlines. You might as well fly Spirit.
You might as well.
You go Popeyes and not have a drink,
bro,
in the middle of your joint. Boy, you risking it.
you try
Watch out for that dude. That boy's a risky boy right there. Watch out for that dude.
That's equivalent to a guy. That's equivalent to a guy that wears black Air Forces. Like that, like black Air Forces.
Energy. You know what? You know what? I don't need this chicken today. You know what I mean?
You know,
I'll walk on line behind you. Black Air. Okay, you know what? I'm. You know.
Like,
I need to drink some more water, anyways. I need to drink some more water. I'm out of here. I read a story about this dude who he has the little hobby. He has the headphones thing. He goes on the beach or like on a lake or wherever he goes. Like, and
that's like his thing. That's his
the
thing
metal detector joint.
Oh, okay. I got
he does the metal detector thing, right? Yeah. And he has this thing. Yeah, he still do that. My homeboy does it. Oh, right. Okay. So this dude is he's doing this thing. So this is this long lost treasure from this is in Pennsylvania, I think it is, right? And so there was some long lost treasure from the Civil War where the Union was transporting gold to somewhere else, and uh, a Confederate squad, I guess attacked them or something. And either way, the treasure went missing. The Confederates didn't have it. The Union people didn't have it. So this has been missing for a long time, since the Civil War. And this guy came across that joint, right? And I think he examined the site because people that do this is one of their like holy grails, right? They know about it. They know that, oh, there's this missing treasure somewhere in this area, whatever. Nobody's ever found it until now. Well, this happened. He found it. Yeah, he found it. This the guy, like I said, he's got this thing. He found it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So apparently, turns out it was 7 tons of like gold and silver bricks and bullions and pieces, just like coins and all that kind of stuff. It was 7 tons worth, right? So what he did is he called the FBI, right? Hey, I found this thing. Everybody been searching for it,
It's not gonna end well.
And so they were like, okay, they came through, they was recording everything, and they because people make claims like this all the time, so they might send one guy to investigate, like, okay, is it this thing that we were looking for? And so one day, the dude, he comes, people come and they watch the site and stuff like that. They're
excavating and all that stuff.
They're excavating, they're researching it, right? Overnight, one day, the nigga comes up the next day, right? After some event, right? And everything is gone. Everything is gone, right?
7 tons, all of it is gone, bruh.
But here's the thing: he don't know how much was there, but we know how much was missing from the records from back in the day. But and if this is that specific finding, it should add up to about 7 tons worth of treasure, right? And so the FBI came back to dude and was like, man, there was nothing there, bro. We looked, we dug, we looked under there. You know what I'm saying? We dug up under there, and it was nothing there, right? And so he's suing because later on he ended up getting the video. But some of it is redacted and stuff, right? Because he's been suing for years, right? So he's suing to say that, yo, the FBI came overnight and did like an overnight dig, got all the stuff that they wanted, and like they disappeared the next day, and like they confiscated whatever they found. I know there was stuff down, like it had to be. I think this was the site, and I don't know what evidence he had to know that was, but it was enough for them to call the FBI, and for the FBI to have spent that much time down there, right? And so he's speculating like, yo, they found something, and he got through court and everything, like he got the video footage and stuff, and he doesn't have the smoking gun of them pulling all the stuff out. But there's enough of the video where it's like, yo, what happened here? What happened here? Why is this piece of footage missing? Why is this thing blurred out right here? And all this kind of stuff, right? So it's questionable, right? So here's why it's a challenge for me, right? Because I said this before. Y'all motherfuckers better stop paying the government extra fucking taxes when you speeding, right? And you get pulled over and you get that ticket. That the funds is going to go to the city. That's extra tax. When you park in that spot that you ain't supposed to be parking it, you get that ticket. You go beyond your meter, you pay that ticket. That's in tax. You're getting taxed, right? I bring up this example to say the government finna take all your shit if you leave it up to them.
Yep.
All right, and they have the power to put us in prison if we escape by the IRS or whatever funds we come across. This dude, right, paid probably like $1 billion tax just did it, unless he would have done some finders keepers losers. Whatever happened to finders keepers loser weepers? You know what I'm talking about? Like, bro, if
America
you
don't play by the same rules, bro. The American government don't play by the same.
They don't play by the same rule, bro. You better call them after you already done excavated about maybe a good 50, 60 of them bricks.
Yeah, for real.
After you got 50 or 60 of them bricks, then you call them because there is some laws, because it technically was U.S. property, right? When it was lost, right? So there's these laws about these excavating certain finds, and you come across certain things, you're supposed to leave it. For example, if you come across tribal land, you got to make sure, like, if you're digging, and you're like, oh, hold on, this, I'm gonna need to get permission to continue digging here because I came across some either some
tribal land.
Yeah, like tribal land. If you don't know if you're digging somewhere like near tribal land, you could come across some like ground that's like like a burial site or something that could be in
Oh, yeah, something
for
that's sacred or something like
architectural,
that.
yeah, or it could be like for
Yeah.
architectural preservation that you are destroying
Oh, yeah,
now,
that
right? So
too.
you got to
That
get
too. Yeah.
permission. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll come, maybe the government will come get it, or
Mhm.
they'll do an arrangement with the tribe, whatever it is, to like come get their stuff or to move it, or maybe we just like, hey, we can't build here, or we can't dig here, whatever it is,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? But whatever it is you find, and you call Uncle Sam is always going to take the bread,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it's tax season right now. So this is my challenge. It's tax season. I'm about to start all my paperwork for the crib starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
And traditionally President's Day, I do it because of that. Fine, give me the day off, and I'll start with the taxes there.
Yep.
But bro, you better believe I'm finding pay your taxes.
Yep.
Pay all the taxes that you are legally obligated to pay.
Yes.
Every penny after that, you better find a way to reduce that tax burden. Because, bruh, when you talk about you getting a job offer and they say, hey, we're gonna offer you this and that, you better really think about what that after tax amount gonna be. You think you getting paid? You think you getting paid?
You better know your tax bracket
You
for
think
real.
you getting paid?
I was just talking about this the other day, and I was like, yo, yeah, it sound good. You look at that salary, like, oh, yeah, I'm getting 150, I'm getting 200. Yeah, all right. Uncle Sam was
Okay.
like, that's what you get?
Oh, that's what you get?
I'm gonna holler at you in January.
Enjoy for now, my guy. But now, not even January, because like per check, you see that number, and it's like, oh God.
Yo, I was looking, bro. Oh my God. I was looking at my pay stub the other day, and like I was so dejected. Like I just felt powerless, right? And I was looking at it and I was just like, they really took. It's like, okay, it's like this. It's like Uncle Sam knocking on your door, right? He opens the door. Like, hey, you got something in the fridge? I'm hungry. I'm gonna just go get something to eat real quick. I'm gonna grab something out the fridge real quick, and I'm gonna holler at you later. Like that's how it feels. And you gotta take it.
They like we allowing you to live here.
Yeah,
allowing
like
you to live here. So we're gonna just check the fridge real quick,
bruh. Yeah, like, we just that 3-piece dinner you had. I'm gonna take a third of that. I'm gonna take a third of that, and then I'm gonna walk out here. And yeah,
bro, and then some of these states got state tax,
man.
too, on top of that,
man.
Bro, this joint,
tell me about it. I'm in Maryland,
bro. These taxes is gonna come for you, and I don't want nobody going to prison for tax evasion, but tax avoidance. Yo, the wealthy do it all the time, and they've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. When the tax system got introduced in Rome, okay, the wealthy were finding ways to deduct their burden on that bit. So you as an individual, y'all better be giving them charitable givings, right? Y'all better keep those receipts for those types of things.
And just to give you some game, that's the wisdom behind tithes and offering in the church. That's giving.
If you can write it off, go for it.
You can write it off, and there's a reason why those, at least responsible churches, it's a reason why they give you a statement at the end, because like you said, you can write that off, and it lowers your tax burden because the reported income is less, right? Because of what you gave. So it's about the name of the game is.
But I don't know. That's kind of like, I mean, what would Jesus do though? Let me ask this question real quick.
Jesus would have been
Hold on. I'm gonna ask you like this.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you like this.
Okay.
What would Jesus do? Remember them bracelets we used to have that joint? WW,
yeah.
JD, bro. Was for y'all too young out there. We used to wear these random ass bracelets.
Yeah.
What would Jesus do? Everybody was just rocking them. I don't know like who made the bread off of that, but that joint made grip.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody
had that on.
Everybody had that joint on, right?
Yep.
And so here's the question: what would Jesus do, right? Because it's like, I'm paying my tithe, so yeah, you're supposed to pay your tithe, right? What do you say? Give Caesar what is Caesar's, right?
Yeah.
So pay your taxes, right?
Yep.
But Jesus ain't had no tax write-off back then.
Jesus had employees, man.
But Jesus but like at the church, like, hold on now. You talking about pay your tithes in your church because I'm gonna get it back on the back end. You think that's the message that Jesus was saying? Like, don't worry about it, you'll get your money back. No, it's supposed to be a sacrifice, right? It's supposed to be a peace.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I know.
Joking, but like it's, but I mean, Jesus' message would be like, I mean, you're giving because it's coming out of your heart, right? Like this is.
Hey,
like,
so here's the challenge. Here's a challenge. If you're really mean for that church tithe to go towards the mission, don't deduct it. Don't deduct it. Don't deduct it. You know what I mean? That's truly giving when you don't expect anything back. Am I right? And the church said, right? Am I right?
But you're not getting anything.
Don't expect anything back.
I guess. You
are you really tithing? Are you really tithing? If you're getting the money back, that's what you need to answer.
But at the same time, in Scripture it says, in all you're getting, get wisdom, get understanding. So there is an expectation to still use wisdom in these systems that are in place. So Jesus would be like, yeah, the tithe is there, but at the same time, I didn't say you could have taken advantage of tax write-offs.
Isn't the sentiment supposed to be about like I'm helping out the community or the church community? You know what I mean? And just like I'm sacrificing. Because isn't that what it is? Sacrificing a tenth?
Yeah. Because really it is.
It ain't a sacrifice if you come back.
It is. It is though, because you're doing it. I mean, however you get paid, whether it's bi-weekly or semi-monthly, whatever. I mean, you are still sacrificing that portion.
Okay, well, put it this way. If you are, then you better give the max. If you're gonna write it all off, you might as well give the max. If you're gonna write it all off and get it back, if you tithing, why do the minimum, do 10%? But anyways, that's my challenge. Is I'm gonna try to like find.
Technically, people should be giving more anyways. But so I see what you're saying. But,
hey, there's offerings and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's right.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm looking for all the deductions. So that's my challenge, is to see how much I can get away with legally. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't trying to go on no Wesley Snipes tour of Sing Sing or wherever the heck they put them up in. You know what I mean? For tax evasion, something like that. So pay your taxes. And mind you, I believe in the utility of paying taxes. Like I know as a social construct, we all came together, ancestors came together to way before we even had the United States, came together to form this thing we call government. And to do that, we entrusted this entity, right, to have the power of the purse and power of the capital punishment, right? Where it's like, okay, this entity is going to have this part. They're going to do this judicially, and equally for everybody, according to whatever laws or customs you have at the time. And so that's why you have a government, and in order to fund that government to do stuff, because they're not the ones out there producing stuff and making services and stuff like that, because we need these people to like keep the society intact, the bigger picture kind of thing, fight wars and stuff. So we need to fund that, right? We need to fund it. We can't just not pay any taxes, because as a society, if we want a cohesion of society, we have to fund this entity that like keeps the freaking the wheels greased, right?
Yeah.
But with that said, it ain't gotta come from me. Every dollar that I save from these cats, I'm gonna just call it. You know what? I'm gonna say, hey, it's just gonna be reparations. You ain't gonna pay me reparations, so I'm gonna take it each tax return at a time. I'm gonna take a little bit back and not put as more than I have to into the system. I'm not gonna give you these free dollars. I'm not gonna go to your park that you're charging me to get into when parks should be free. If it's a toll road or something, you know what? I'll go around.
I can't believe they be charged for parks, bro. I'll be like,
I'll go around.
Really charge me for a park, bro? Like,
public space.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
I'll just get ready 15 minutes earlier to go around.
Because you're not gonna get this 50 cents from me every day.
Yeah,
Miami has it now. Miami been had this, but like several cities have it now. With the freaking, they have like a VIP lane, bro. On the highway.
Yeah, I saw that last time I was down there.
You're gonna shorten the regular lanes that we have. We had 5. You're gonna shorten to 4, and then add extra lane over there, so you can have 2 lanes over there. So you could charge niggas to go on that far left lane, and you got these little barriers there. Right, so they can go there and fly, no traffic, no nothing. But all you're doing is adding another bill to a household, right? You're increasing the burden for those people that's stuck in a 4-lane one, because let's say they can't afford this monthly fucking membership plan to what you got with these freaking things on the other side.
Much more traffic,
right? Causing way more traffic for the people that can't afford that joint, and these people fly. So again, this is just like another this kind of thing that can happen with the internet too. By the way, this is a whole nother time. I'm not gonna get into that, but like
Mhm.
they could start. They tried to do this, right? To start metering the internet, where you have
Yeah,
to
I mean
pay
they do
more
that.
for a higher bandwidth of internet than the regular population can have.
Yeah. That's being done with cellular services too. They've been doing that for a minute. Like
Yeah,
T-Mobile was doing that for. They
but no,
still
we're talking
actually
about
doing
like
that
the
for 10.
general internet,
But like
like
the
the
general, yeah, no,
freaking
that
big internet. They're trying to. The
yeah.
last thing I'll say about
Apple's doing
this
that as
is like
finest.
the biggest chunk of these taxes comes from Social Security, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
I
Yeah, look
I
at my
I don't
check. I can see that.
I don't
I can
I don't
see that.
I don't understand how people are
Yeah.
saying. So here's it. This is another thing. This is like the global society building agreement that we've made. Is that people that are currently working are gonna pay for the people that are at the end of their career, right? Are the end of the working age, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Social Security is supposed to go to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In the past, when we weren't working, we were kids, you know what I mean? We weren't,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Maybe we were in a household, or maybe you're in a family that gets government assistance for something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That but you weren't necessarily providing as much in terms of wages to pay the taxes to society for you to get that. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you have your social security benefits, all different kind of ways that it comes. People in the past paid when they were, they paid into Social Security, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that are old, and now they need this. So it's again, it's a thing that we do for the future, for the past, for the generation that came before us, and it's supposed to happen for us with the generation that comes after us. These kids that are in college now, these kids that are in high school now. When we get old, and the system that we contributed to, it
Mm-hmm.
should be there and waiting for us to reap the benefits from our waiting. Now,
Yeah. Sure.
they've done some funny business with the Social Security reporting numbers to make it sound like Social Security is going to be insolvent at some point. It's not. There should be some changes that's done, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be insolvent in the next 15 years or 30 years. Like the math, because the thing is about how much money are, how inflation. There's a lot of factors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inflation,
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
people are actually making in terms of basically how much we're making as a country in terms of GDP. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's the production value,
Mm-hmm.
the production that it is added to industry over time, and it might change because we were better at producing and manufacturing things. Let's say in the 70s and 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right
Mm-hmm.
now we're more of a service driven kind of thing. But like how our salaries doing. So there's a bunch of factors
It's
that
true.
go into how much we're contributing currently into this future, to this, into the pot, and how much people that's coming after us will be contributing to our pot when we get old, right? So
Mm-hmm.
granted, there maybe needs to be some changes, but ain't no way you can tell me Social Security is insolvent. It's gonna be insolvent anytime in my lifetime when I
Mm-hmm.
see how much money they take from my goddamn paycheck.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Bullshit.
It take a lot of because when I look at that, it's like, come on, man. There's
And we
no
should have
way.
caught up because a
No,
lot of these
yeah.
motherfuckers died.
Mm.
A lot of these motherfuckers died through COVID.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so we
yeah.
should be catching up.
Fair point.
And it
Fair
wasn't a
point.
lot of young people.
Yep.
It wasn't the majority wasn't young people. Like a lot of young
Mm-hmm.
people died, but the majority was not young people.
Yep.
So that means young people are still out here in this population,
Mm-hmm.
making bread, contributing to that Social Security, and the there's less. Just the math. I ain't, there's just less old people around. So there's less people
Logistically, it
collecting
makes sense.
that Social Security.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I ain't really trying to hear that joint about this. So that shit better be around. Our money I put into it, that shit better be around and ready to
Absolutely.
pay your boy what I earn. Cause I'm gonna come collecting. I know damn well I'm gonna come collecting.
Especially over all these years. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking like.
What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, cause I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too. Growing up as a Dolphins fan is really easy for me to like not really fuck with football like these days. You know, it's just like I just been
That is so bad.
I just been so jaded over to they beat me
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It beat me down so much during these years
We kind of
of
felt the same way as Tampa Bay fans. I mean, we kind of felt the same way for a long time.
man, y'all got
Before
2
TV,
Super Bowls in your time. No, you
bro.
have 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime.
We had the last Super Bowl that we had was 2003. 2003.
Wow.
The next one we got was 2020.
Wow.
What you mean?
Wow. How many Super
17
Bowls have
years.
I gotten my entire life? My entire life on this planet.
Okay, so you didn't get one, I guess, in your lifetime. I guess, but
niggas be like, bro, what? Like, this
I'm
is
just
also,
saying.
you know, Philly fans is like that too. Philly fans like that too, cause like y'all be winning, y'all stay winning. Why y'all
Philly
be
fans
mad?
be winning though. Philly fans be winning though.
Why y'all be mad all the time? Why y'all still be mad? Y'all be winning. Y'all act like y'all supposed to win everything or something like that. Y'all like stop it. And you know,
Philly is
so
just an aggressive place, so I think people just naturally like that.
man,
So Philly fans are like that.
I say that to say this, like, bro, y'all made it to the Super Bowl as Philly fans, and y'all stay winning, and y'all fools just stay mad. So either way, I didn't watch the Super Bowl like that because I'm just not. It's just I'll watch it if the game is on or something like that, but I'm not gonna go out my way to watch football, you know. And so I was just doing some other stuff, and I check in and out, checking in and out, right? So you went somewhere and watched the whole game.
Yeah, because I mean, because I still be
What'd
watching football. I still watch.
What'd you think about it?
No, it was. I mean, it was. This is the kind of Super Bowl we wanted. We wanted a good game. That's what everybody wants. Like the two two number one seeds of both conferences made it. So it's like, okay, they both had the same record. They're both two powerful teams. The game was actually really good. It had everything that you would want in the game. Suspense. I mean, defensively, because it was 35-38. So it was more of like a offensive kind of showcase.
But that's a question I actually have though. I heard about I've heard people say something similar. And it's so this is the Super Bowl we wanted.
Yes.
This is what people say. I know you want offense. You want to see a bunch of people flying up and down that field, whatever, right?
Of course you want offense, yes.
But you also don't want to be like, oh, the defense was trash. There was no defense. So what's the score that could be like, okay, we got a good offensive show, but it wasn't just a walking all over defense because defenses play bad. Because you could have, I'm wondering like this, if the score was like 50-51, well, people be like, yo, that was a great Super Bowl.
It would be more of like, for the casual fan, yes, they would love it. But for a person like me who grew up playing, I mean, we both grew up playing football, and who's like really into like if football was my first love, right? As far as the sport, football was my first love. Like, to me, it's going to be kind of like, okay, it's entertaining, but at the same time, I'm still going to be like, y'all not really playing defense for real though. Like, this game was kind of like watching an NBA All-Star game. Like, ain't nobody playing D for real. Like,
you talking about the 50-50 game or the
the example that you gave. That's kind of how I would have responded to something like that. Would have been like, man, that's a high scoring game, which would have been something that I don't think it's ever happened for any Super Bowl. I'm not sure if there was a score like that before. But that's how I responded to it. Right? I would have been like, okay, it was entertaining, high flying offense, but defensively, I'm like, y'all not really trying to stop nobody. Y'all just taking turns scoring. Like, that's kind of weird. Like that, it would have been a heavily lopsided game that kind of would have made me feel like, that's entertaining game, but it's not really football at its essence, right?
So I think it depends on it's 35-35 that kind of score, or is it 21? Because you don't want to watch no damn 9-13 final score for the Super Bowl.
So I think the score that would have, like, the 35-38, when I saw it, I was like, I thought it was a good game. Like, I thought it was a good game based on all that occurred, right? And like, really, Jalen Hurts was really the guy that really did a lot of the saving as far as Philadelphia goes. And we'll get into that a little bit. But like, what would have been a perfect score for the Super Bowl that would have told the tale of both sides of the ball is if it would have been like 21-24. Because you have enough offense, and then you have enough where it's like, okay, there were some defensive stops that were made. Right, like something like in between, like 21-24. Okay, that's enough offense to me, but it also shows me that, okay, there's some corners that did their job, some linebackers to stop the run a little bit. You can tell that some of these things happen. There may have been a fumble, interception, or something like that.
Yeah,
that would have been like okay, like I would have been cool with like that, or like 17-20. Like I personally would have been cool with that. right?
I don't know. I think you got to go 20 plus if you're talking about, and I'm not talking about you personally, but I'm talking about in terms of like the zeitgeist, right? If we're
Okay.
setting up to see what would the
Mm,
public be like? Okay, this was a good game, and it wasn't just one sided, whatever.
mm,
But I will say this though,
mm.
that boy Patrick Mahomes had a bum tire. He
Yeah,
had a bum tire, and
yeah.
he didn't get sacked once.
Some people calling his performance comparable to Jordan flu game.
And bro, he actually
Jordan
scrambled
flu game.
for a
Yeah,
like
yeah.
30,
I think it was like
20
a
yard
20,
run.
20 something yard. Yeah, yeah.
So
It was, man. Yeah.
what do you
28. It was
so it's
28.
like you can't make me
28 yard
really
run.
believe that
Mm.
defense was good if like
Yeah, it
you ain't
wasn't.
sack
It
him not
wasn't.
one time.
Yeah, it was, and that's kind of crazy. With the line that Philly got and the linebackers they got, like, and obviously you're gonna have, especially knowing that Pat Mahomes be getting out the pocket like that, like like you're gonna have some
But
kind
it's
of
not like he was
somebody
lighting it
spying on
up.
him, but like,
He wasn't
yeah,
lighting it up
he
on the
was,
ground.
and that was the thing, like,
Oh snap! He still got 44 yards rushing.
bruh, the man threw for 3 TDs, but only threw for 182 yards,
Only 182.
182 yards,
21 of 27.
no 27, yeah,
That's nasty.
yeah. That means it was like just short drop offs, screens, little out routes. But like
And got 3 TDs off
it
of
was
it.
quality. Yeah, it was quality passes though, and got 3 TDs off. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, Travis Kelce going crazy, the tight end.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kadarius Toney was another guy he threw, which was his only reception, a 5-yard TD reception.
Mm-hmm.
And we know with Kadarius, which I rock with Kadarius because that's a Gator guy, that's a Florida guy there, so that's my guy. And just really one reception, but he did have that momentum swinging punt return when he returned for 65 yards.
Okay, so boom, that brings me to the other thing. So, well, real quick, shout out to Jalen Hurts. I mean, that is the best. That's probably like one of the best performances by the losing quarterback. Right, 304 passing and 1 TD. There was a pivotal mistake.
He ran for 3 TDs too.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually, yep.
Yeah,
3 touchdowns he rushed for. So pivotal mistake. He started at the early on in the game, which was the fumble. Which was recovered and returned for a touchdown. That's like the worst of the worst, right?
Yeah.
But it's early in the game, so there's plenty of time to make that up. So that was a key mistake. Another key mistake is the punt return. The game is on the line, and I saw a point in the punt return where like y'all had him. He like stumbled and y'all had him, but then like
they over pursued.
He cut it back and got down to the 5-yard line.
Yep.
And then the third element I would add is the holding call that got called. So this is what
I want to talk about that a little bit if we have some time.
This is what so where do you stand on that?
Okay. So when I play football, I'm a receiver head, right? Slot guy. So I'm a catch in space. At least that's what I did. I caught in space, slot guy. That was my thing, right? Now, the thing that corners like to do, which always pissed me off, right? And I was like, they need to be called more for this. A lot of corners, a lot of corners ain't really like that. As far as man coverage, a lot of them ain't really like that. They do little sneaky stuff to slow down your route, to kind of force you one way. Beyond the 5-yard, that 5-yard kind of like bump and run kind of thing, that 5-yard privilege they're given. Juju had him on a button route, a nice little button route. He got beat on it. And he tried to like tuck his jersey a little bit and try to hook him a little bit so he can slow him down and throw him off. But he got caught. But a lot of corners hold. A lot. They as a matter of fact, I've seen, and I follow some DB coaches. A lot of them actually teach them to do that. But you have to be able to get away with it. They teach them in a way to do it where it's like it's subtle, but it kind of like forces. It kind of like throws off the timing of the DB. Obviously DB with the QB, it kind of throw off that route, throw off the receiver a little bit, just to kind of gain control, right? Because some people say, which I can kind of agree with, the cornerback position is one of the hardest positions to play because you're basically reacting. You just have to be sound and disciplined, and you're reacting. You don't know what route the receiver is going to do unless you're like Dion. There's some guys that just had a knack for it, right? But like I will say this though. I will say this as a competitor. You gotta let that joint. You gotta let that joint kind of go, bro.
Okay,
like you got
no.
You,
So
bro.
this is why you can't let it go. This is why you can't let it go because
it wasn't egregious. It wasn't egregious though. Like
I'm gonna tell you why it was. I'm gonna tell you why it was
Okay.
egregious. I'll tell you. You asking? I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
right now.
I'm
So
listening.
you could dismiss from now on because I'm gonna explain it to you. So you can't say this going forward to
my
anybody
God.
that you come across because
Okay.
you would be intellectually dishonest if you didn't. Because I'm telling you
Okay.
right now what's happening.
Okay.
First of all,
All right, fair.
right, that Bradbury admitted it was a hole. I held him.
He did.
I held him.
And I was
He
like,
admitted. I got
bruh.
more. I got more for you, right?
He did say that.
I got more for you. So
Yeah. No,
because
remember, he also said that he felt like the refs should have let that joint go. He also said that.
You hold? He said yes. Did you hold?
Okay.
Quick.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Right.
one, right?
Right.
And mind you, I played both sides before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I receiver, and I was on the other side playing corner before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that junk is that junk is dicey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when the goal line is like right there, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Moves are quick, routes are quick, you know what I mean? You don't got a lot of time to react. Maybe if it's a wider open field, you might have to make up speed if you kind of like blew the coverage a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So it's like this thing is like happening in instances, right?
No, yeah, that red zone is different.
Right. So I don't mind. And so throughout the whole field, you know what I mean? The corner and the receivers, you get physical, you know what I mean? Off that line, you know what I mean?
Of course.
You get physical. So it's a contact sport.
Yep.
Even before the ball is in the air, right? I totally get that, right? And don't call no petty joint like that. But he held him twice. He held them twice on that same play. The inside move, he got handsy on him.
Yep.
And then when he hit with that outside move, he went in like, wait a minute, where you going?
He was really
kind of try to hook up. He was really beat.
He was really beat. Yeah.
He was really beat. That's twice. Now, if it was on the first one, maybe one, did like that, and okay, don't call that. That's on yet. Or maybe if you let him go on that first move and then you being beat, you didn't touch him, and then that second move, but that means you would have only done it once. You did it twice, my guy, and you were behind him, clearly behind him, because if the ball is placed shorter, he's catching it here because
he's
catching in front of him here because you're behind him.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And if somebody said something about the ball being overthrown, no, if the receiver wasn't held up, he would have caught that. The ball landed inbounds. It ended in the end zone.
And that's what I was saying about timing and the route and throwing off the route. Like if he wasn't holding the route, Juju would have been there to catch the ball for sure.
So people who saying that shit was overthrown anyways, that's trash because he could have caught that, right? And he did it twice. As a ref, nigga, you better call that because I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad if I'm Kansas City.
Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you. As
if I'm Kansas City, you would be pissed.
I would have been hot. Yeah,
Italy receivers would have been pissed. This nigga held me twice on that play, and it didn't get called. Here's what else I say about it too. It's like, bro, you just goofed on the kick return. Don't be blaming Bradbury for the loss in this game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I held him there, but don't blame him for the loss because they were in field goal range at best.
Were they blaming him specifically? I know
there's people that blame him for it, right? And saying, well, they blame him. Some people blame him. Some people are blaming the ref. Specifically, these people are blaming the ref. The ref had no choice. Once he held him the second time, that second joint, the ref had to call it.
Yeah, I can't.
Regardless, let's say it never happened. Let's say it never got called. Kansas City kicked that field goal. They were at like the 15 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They kick the field goal and they get their 3 points, right? At that point, Philly still only has less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They have less than 2 minutes to drive the whole field to try to get in field goal range to kick that joint, right? And that may never happen. You even saw Jalen Hurts at the end, he tried to do a Hail Mary. He could barely get the ball off. The dude got a bad shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
It looked bad when he did that. I was like, that shoulder looked, oh man.
Yeah. It's like he's got a bad shoulder. So you're going to have this guy like try to like miraculously. People want this miracle joint, right? Yeah. And like it's always going to end up like that. But the right thing happened. Like Kansas City came back. They played the clock game just right.
They did.
They played the clock game. They played the clock game masterfully.
Philly was out of timeouts. Yeah, so it was
Dude slid at the 1 yard line and didn't score. You know, and that's clock man. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's clock management. Yeah,
you don't want that as an audience member. But guess what? If you on a team and you a coach, and you know your contract relies on this, you know the freaking the extensions and the receivers and all these people on your team, all this stuff. At the end of the day, 5 years from now, when you're getting judged, when Patrick Mahomes is getting judged, we're gonna say, "Oh, how many Super Bowls did you have?" You ain't gonna give a fuck about what that score was in which Super Bowl. You ain't gonna care what that call was or wasn't called or was called or nothing like that. You just gonna be like, "Well, how many Super Bowls you got?" And guess what? Now he said he had that Super Bowl, and ain't nobody gonna remember this freaking call. Ain't nobody gonna remember this the punt return. You know, all that is at the end of the day, the right thing. That coach Andy Reid was like, "I ain't here to give y'all a great Super Bowl. That's not what I mean. I'm here. You play to win the game. I came here to win the game and get this chip. I don't care if y'all don't think it's pretty or none of that shit. Fuck that shit.
And it's the Super Bowl. You're gonna take advantage of everything that's presented to you.
Yep.
Everything.
I ain't here to play games with y'all. Oh, let's tough it out and go into overtime and do. No, hell no, man. I'm trying to.
I ain't mad
at it. I ain't even mad at it. So like people.
I just felt like I guess because of the competitor in me, I kind of felt a little bit like, dang, let them boys like play a little bit. Like,
you gotta call it.
But I understand what you're saying though. Like, a win is a win. Dom Toretto said this before. It doesn't matter if you win by a mile.
Great quote.
Or you win.
great man once said.
a great man by the name of Dom Toretto said, it doesn't matter if you win by a mile or you win by an inch. Yep. Win is a win.
Win. Fuck everything else. Win. That's it.
A win is a win. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I ain't mad at it.
Bro, shouts out to Cheryl Lee Ralph. I don't know if you heard her do the Lift Every Voice and Sing. But bro, that shit slapped way harder, man, than the national anthem.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Like as a music production.
I ain't gonna hold you.
As a music production, like that shit goes way harder.
There's I don't care what color you are. There's no white person that was in that stadium that was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, that joint.
This ain't hitting. This ain't hitting.
They're not saying that it wasn't hitting. They're like,
come on, bro. Man. This is a Tony-nominated freaking Broadway. She's a Broadway thespian, and you know what I mean. Like, bro, she killed that joint,
and everybody enjoyed it, bro. It don't matter who you are and what your walk of life.
Everybody didn't enjoy it because these white supremacists was on Twitter, and by white supremacists, I'm talking about some of these people in Congress.
That's true.
Talking about the nation don't need,
bro. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh y'all really being y'all really like that petty and that low for real?" You know, Alicia Keys did this in 2021.
They've done it a couple times before.
Yeah, and she didn't.
They probably got Fox News probably got in on her too.
Probably
back then.
I just don't remember this. I just don't remember the backlash like this. Like I don't remember that.
Bro, and she killed it.
But she bodied it. Like she really bodied it.
She bodied it. She looked amazing. And she looked amazing doing it too.
Yeah. And you're mad because it's not the. What are you really mad about? You're mad because it's not the white.
They're mad because black people have a platform. You know, they're trying to take away CRT and freaking AP, African American history courses. They're trying to I told you before, they want black people to be seen probably and not heard or like no representation. This is what white supremacy really wants. And so we're all like out here like, hey, here's the tapestry of what makes up the US. You know what I mean? Black history is American history. Like, and this was a black ass Super Bowl. You know, we had the first time two black quarterbacks. You know, in the game.
I got something to say about that. Have you seen the memes of when they're putting Pat Mahomes and his family to like on the same meme, his family compared to like, you know, Jalen Hurts and his family. Like they're showing Jalen Hurts with like, you know,
I see this meme.
Black girlfriend, black family. And they see Pat Mahomes with he has a white wife. You see his kids, and I was like, Instagram for real? Like y'all really want to make?
Hey, like you said earlier, you can't get nothing past the internet, bro.
You can't. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I was looking at this and I was like, and then the caption underneath it, I wish I could see that. The caption underneath it said, "I'm not telling you who to vote for," but I was like, really?
Stop.
I'm like, I'm petty.
But this is the
Y'all
same
so
thing.
petty, bro.
This is the same thing we say. Like this happened with like Barack Obama. You know, like is he
Yeah.
really the first
Like,
black president? Kind of is. You know,
bro,
black-ish.
listen, the internet is undefeated, bro. I was like, bro,
You
you
give the
just
internet
can't.
enough time, they finna come for it. They
Yeah,
finna just come something that's like so mundane. You wouldn't
can't
even
wait.
think it about it and be like, "Yep, this is gonna be the
And
thing
that's
that
the
we're gonna
crazy
get
thing.
hype about."
That's the crazy thing. I wasn't even thinking about it. Like I wasn't
Nope,
thinking about it. And I
nope. You
saw the
thinking
meme
about
and
it
I was
now?
like,
Now you got to consider this
now,
joint. Like, oh,
now,
really?
now I can't unthink it. Right? It's like now
So
I can't
it
unthink
was
it.
a Lauren Boebert. She goes, America only needs one national anthem.
Yeah.
Why is the NFL trying to
And
divide
she's
us
a
by
Republican.
playing multiple? Do football,
Right.
not wokeness.
Yeah, like
They gonna be mad.
Yeah.
They always gonna be mad. Oh,
Yeah.
that joint was dope. And
it's
also,
entirely unnecessary. Like it's not even necessary. Like why?
hey, it's necessary for their base. If their base didn't get
Okay, yeah,
sustenance from it, they
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. But their base gets hyped up about it, and they donate more to them when they do stuff like this.
fair. That's fair.
Also,
I get
black is the halftime show. What'd you think about the black halftime
I thought
show?
it was trash. I thought it was trash. I absolutely thought it was trash. Yeah, I thought it was trash. Like I was like, come on, man. Like and like the halftime shows that we've had in recent years have been very entertaining. Like especially the joint with Snoop and 50, like the nostalgia and all that Mary J. Blige, you know
That
what I'm
was
saying? Like,
Dr. Dre presents.
Dr. Dre, yeah, like it was the
all
one,
these
even
people.
the one with Kendrick Lamar was like, bro, like even the one Beyonce did some time ago when she, you know, was turning up, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was actually entertaining. Like I actually sat back and I was like, okay, this is entertaining. Even the one that Justin Timberlake did years ago, that joint was entertaining. He was all in the crowd, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we got to see a titty.
I was thinking about that. It was one recent. It was one recent that he performed. I think I can't remember.
Did he do another recent one?
Yeah. It was like I think it was like 20.
Damn, did he do the Super Bowl twice? Or was he just like a special guest from? Was it Janet's Super Bowl? I didn't remember that joint.
Yeah, I don't remember what year it was, but it was recent though. It was like 2017. I'll Google it and look it up as we continue on here. But I was saying all that to say yeah, that's how show was trash. But I didn't realize because my expectations were really high. Like I expected more entertainment, right? But also didn't I thought I noticed it until later I found out that she was pregnant, right? And I looked at it, I was like, she looked kind of pregnant. I was like, maybe that's why her energy is.
So that's one thing that's a little.
But I was like, that's
for me. That I was like, wait a minute. I feel like people like it took people a while to like they waited to get okay. Granted, you don't never want to approach a woman and automatically say,
yeah,
how far along are you? Don't do it.
Yeah,
it's not a good look, you know, because you could be wrong. So you don't ever want to be like assuming something like that. And her PR team, you know, put it out after the performance that yes, this is confirmation that she is indeed pregnant. But I thought it was obvious as soon as she took the stage, because the style of clothes that the zip up thing is specifically zipped up like right to kind of build, and she's wearing this contour thing under, and like I'm like,
that's a good observation.
Look, and like it's like the way the dress was designed or the outfit was designed. It's like she's like, hey, I'm trying to make a statement here. Yeah. Like it's a statement piece. I want to show because it could zip. It could zip, you know what I mean, and whatever. And so it's like I'm trying to make obvious this thing. And as soon as they showed her full like camera on image, she rubbed her belly. She didn't do it like a whole I'm rubbing my belly. She didn't do all that, but she kind of like she rubbed the belly a little bit, just kind of like I present to you my belly kind of thing, right? With the zipper down. I was like, this is she's obviously pregnant, right? I was like, oh, she's pregnant. But I
definitely suspected it for sure. When I was looking, I was like, because I was thinking the same thing you just mentioned. I was like, it's kind of weird to just have like a full body zip up thing, and but you stop the zipper right underneath your belly, and I'm like,
well, you could. I mean, it's not weird because I seen Aaliyah. I remember Aaliyah dressed up has a jumpsuit kind of like that in one of her music videos, but she has like a halter top or something, right? And it's zipped up that low. So, but depending on the style and the fashion look that you're going for, costume design. This is a big performance. So it's costume design. It could be designed in a particular way. But I thought it was specifically designed to say, hey, I'm pregnant. Look at me, I'm pregnant. Okay. Right. Okay. So it was obvious that she's pregnant. Now. Greatest performance of all time while pregnant. I'm gonna say it goes to Serena Williams. Right? I'm gonna say it goes to Serena Williams. I think this might have been
tennis, so I'm not even aware of that.
Well, this was several years back, right? And we found out that she did. I forgot. It wasn't Wimbledon. It might have been U.S. Open. I'm not sure. It's not. It's not that important to which specific one it was, but she ended up telling us, when she got out of the tournament, she was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. I've been doing all this while I was pregnant." Right?
Wow.
The energy level that it takes for her to go several rounds while pregnant in a tennis tournament, right, is astonishing.
It's impressive.
Different women experience pregnancy differently. That's totally perfect. I'm not gonna hold it against you. If Serena Williams was just like, I'm gonna gracefully bow out. I can't do this right now because I'm just not feeling it. Not that the pregnancy is an excuse. It's just that I'm not physically able to do this. And this is a big stage. This is like, I think it was it was a major. It was a grand slam.
Okay.
Right. And she still went and did her thing. Right. We would have never known until she told us after the fact. I feel like there's certain people like the Beyoncés. And I don't want to keep going back to Beyonce, but Rihanna's another one that you cannot be objective with, like the social universe, the social media universe just will not say it out loud.
Of course not.
The true objective judgment of what it is they're seeing. I heard one of the ones that I heard that was like, that really solidified this for me was somebody that said, Rihanna is doing great. She is giving big mom energy right now. And I was like, what you're trying to say and what you're purposely not saying, you want to say it, but you're not saying it, is that as a performance, that was a lackluster performance. And then you say, Darwin, she's pregnant. I'm like, okay. If she's pregnant, if you say, hey, be like, hey, I'm not feeling it today. I'm not going to sign up for Super Bowl. I'm pregnant, and the way my pregnancy is set up, somebody else's pregnancy might be set up differently. They could do this kind of thing, but I can't come up here and do all the gyrations and do all these damn moves and these jumps and kicks and stuff like that. My body's just, and like, my whole situation right now is not for that. So can I honestly then get it out of people to be like, okay, there's got to be levels to this, right? There's got to be levels to this. So in terms of like performances, so if to try to get honesty, to squeeze out some objectivity, some of these people, it's like, okay, let's think about all the Super Bowl performances we could think about, right? Like, I'm thinking Prince, Michael Jackson had it, Kendrick, Beyonce, Super Bowl performances, The Weeknd, Bruno Mars. Remember this? These are always.
Bruno Mars
you cannot tell me all of these were tens. You can't tell me all of these were tens, right? So if they're not all tens, some of them are better than others, right? So you gotta walk this freaking path just to try to squeeze a little bit of objectivity out of people. So where amongst the top 3 Super Bowl performances that you have seen, like in terms of this, I'm paying, bro. If you went to a Rihanna concert and she gave you that, you would be mad that you paid $250 for these tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be mad.
Come on, bro.
But the Kool-Aid can be so strong though that you're like, no, this is fine. This is great. This is the best concert I've ever been to because you're a fan. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. It's like, bro, it's okay to be honest and be like, your performance, you are amazing. You're beautiful. You're glowing. The performance was lackluster. Like these niggas was out there gyrating all kinds of crazy. The dudes in the white coats and just getting busy. And and then like the energy, she just could not match the energy. She either didn't have it in her or she didn't want to. And guess what? If she didn't want to, she could just be like, no, I'm not showing up. You have that choice to not show up. You're
Exactly.
here to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to
Yeah.
do a job, and like you can't just be like, oh, I'm not doing this because I don't feel like it today. Well, okay, fine. You could do that. You could just show up and not do it. But people should be allowed to criticize and be like, yo, we could be honest.
But the defensiveness of her performance is telling that people really know that joint was trash, bro.
Yeah.
Like how defensive people are about it, they know it was trash, bro. But then like because she was pregnant, like, oh, now we have a scapegoat that we can use to give her an excuse. And it's kind of like, oh, now she's giving mom energy.
Right. Ain't nobody saying wrong with being pregnant and going to work. Yeah, you can still do that. Go pregnant, go to work.
Nobody harping on that.
Right. But you shouldn't be like if you could do whatever you want. She could do whatever she want. That's fine. But I'm gonna reserve the right to say that was a bad performance. You can do. I'm not telling women what they should do, when they should do it, when should not do it. But it's gonna be difficult for you, some of these things. And we're out here in the audience and we're seeing a thing. And if I would have paid specifically to go to a concert and see that performance, I'd be like, yo, I feel like these people that had these experiences with Rihanna really had the true Rihanna, and I'm getting a derivative of that, and it's not up to the standard.
And that's the nuanced point that we're obviously harping on here, that people really need to pay attention to. It's the performance. We're talking about the performance. The performance was trash. Like it was legit. I'm watching this thing. I'm like, this is trash, bro. Like I'm like, I honestly like I watched it just to kind of see like maybe she's gonna turn up or maybe it's gonna be something. I guess artist gonna show up or something. But I was sitting there like,
and she had no guest artist. Everybody has a guest artist. She had no. She had to carry the whole thing.
That's what made it painful. It was just like,
she ain't getting no break and all. You know what I mean? Like the guest artist, or the special guest was the belly.
Yeah,
it was the baby. That was a special guest.
To be honest, it almost made me feel some kind of way a little bit because it's kind of like there might be a little bit of ego there to like, no, I'm gonna do this whole halftime show by myself while I'm pregnant, and I'm like.
She could do it. She could have done it in like if in another situation. Like I could see her being a person that could do a whole solo Super Bowl halftime show. You know what I mean? Like in a different
in a different physiological state. Yes, of course. This is Rihanna. Like we know that. we know. That. Like, we know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and that was my and the thing is that was my expectation when I saw that it was Rihanna was halftime show. I was like, okay, this joint might be lit because Rihanna, she's a.
This is my question. This is my question.
Yeah.
To all the people that didn't watch the game, that didn't want to watch the game, they said, I'm only watching this. I'm watching the Rihanna show. I can't watch the Rihanna show and y'all can have y'all football. For y'all people, did you actually honestly get what you came for?
Right.
Did you feel like your cup was filled?
Yeah.
Or did you feel like a little something missing from what you came there for?
Exactly.
Some people paid to buy a brand new TV. Some people paid to go to a special bar or something like that. Answer me that. Riddle me that.
and that's a very good question, right? Because like for me, I'm here because I love football, so I'm gonna watch the game. I'm there for the game.
Yeah.
But there's there just happens to be a halftime show, and it just so happened that it's gonna be Rihanna. So it's like, all right, so if it's gonna be Rihanna, it might be lit. It might be it might be all hyper and creative and artistic. It might be all these different things. But you didn't get none of that. You really didn't get none of that. You might have gotten some. I mean, the backup dancers, those guys were like, they got a whole hit cardio.
They earned their paycheck.
Those guys got a whole hit cardio. They were like working out.
Speaking of which, bro, like that, bro. I wish, dang man, I really would have liked to see Rihanna body that performance because specifically like that production. Bro, that floating stage joint, and they had the different levels with it.
Production was cool.
That production was dope. They had you could see them like creating the stage, they use these trucks, whatever, to make it happen. Put it together like puzzle pieces, and they broke it down. And you got these things elevating, and she got hurt, and she's up in the bro. I was like, yo, and the timing for everything. They even had a camera angle where it was diamonds in the sky, where because the particular shape of the thing that they were standing on. They had a camera at a particular angle and looking up where it looked like floating diamonds in the sky, which was the platform she was standing on, and the different backup dancers. I was like, yo, the production is great.
The
production was great. I was like, dang, I wish the performance could match. You know what I mean?
So I mean, the production was it was awesome. And that's also what made it a little bit more disappointing because it's like, man, I put a lot of thought and care and time and money into this production to have, you know, some kind of fruit of like an amazing performance and obviously the aesthetic of that performance. And it's like that just
So
and it fell miserably. Also, I
so
wanted to mention that it was 2018, Justin Timberlake.
okay.
2018. Yep.
The thing I will say to wrap up the Rihanna talk though is that her segment, her time got more views than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard it added like 5 million more views or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got more views than Super Bowl. So all those extra people came. People
But
was
no,
come.
I kind of want to cross examine that statement a little bit though. Was it just not the
What?
same people that were still watching? It's just 5 more million people added it. Like
Okay, so in addition, she
she brought in more.
brought in.
Okay, that's
Right.
that's
So
okay.
you look at the you look at the clock and how much people were watching during the game and how many people were watching Rihanna, because there's going to be commercials before Rihanna
Yeah.
comes on, and
Yeah.
there's going to be commercials after Rihanna comes on. So you need eyeballs on the screen to get those commercials.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
Rihanna brought extra eyeballs
Yeah, she
to
brought
the
extra,
thing.
yeah.
So all y'all extra 5 million people, like, did y'all get what y'all came for? Did y'all get what y'all actually came for? Or did y'all just
Yeah.
want to see Rihanna on the screen? If y'all just want to see Rihanna on the screen and she could just be up there clipping her toenails, then hey, you got what you
Y'all
came
be
for.
good.
Good. You got what you came for. So Cam Thomas was fined $40,000 for saying a gay slur, no homo,
Oh my God.
in a post-game interview. So Thomas says that the use of the homophobic slur was insensitive after uttering it on national TV, and he ends up getting fined. So here's so as of Friday, the NBA fined him $40K for
40
using
bands, bro.
derogatory and disparaging language during a live TV interview. I'm gonna fast forward to. I'm gonna come back to it though, but I'm gonna fast forward real quick to say Cam Thomas himself, all right, went on Twitter and said, "I want to apologize for the insensitive word I used in the post-game interview. I was excited about the win and was being playful. I definitely didn't intend to offend anyone, but realized that I probably did. My apologies again. Much love." Okay, so I say he still got the fine, right? But I'm taking him at his word here and saying, I'm saying that these are his words, right? I know people are gonna can put a lot into why the tweet came out and how the tweet came out and whose words exactly are these. But from what we know, the only evidence we got, we don't know what happened in the back room, but only evidence we got, this is the tweet that he put out. All right, so here's some context. Bro, this was a wild week for that was a wild week for the Nets. So this week the Nets, they traded away Kyrie to Dallas. They got Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, right? So at first, the Nets news conference after the trade with Finney-Smith sitting next to him, Dinwiddie joked, "We may not be the best trade package, but we're the best looking." And the Nets needed some help in that department.
So he's already making a joke. Like, people need to read and understand the context. This is ridiculous.
Okay, right.
It's so absurd. Like,
when asked on TNT about Dinwiddie's comment, Thomas said, so he was on TNT in the game. So this is post game. They won. So and they won this game, right?
Yeah, they did.
So that's for more context.
And he played well. He played well that game too.
And it's like, I know I would be feeling some type of way if I'm still left on the Nets, right? After what happened with Kyrie and Durant, I'm like, bruh, y'all just, and then you go out and you win, like you feel good. Like, fuck that shit, we don't need y'all niggas anyways, right? And you win, so you hype, right? So I'm imagining that kind of context, right?
Brooklyn was a good team before they. One thing you have to remember though, Brooklyn was a good team before they came, before KD and Kyrie was there. They were a good team already. And now they just pretty much the same team that they were prior to them coming there.
Yeah, but they wasn't gonna come out the East at any time. They wasn't coming out the East. Not
They
with.
didn't come out the East anyways.
Oh,
Every
well,
time they went
that's true.
yeah,
Too. Even with them,
so it
they just
didn't
never
matter.
made it work. But it's like
It didn't
you
matter.
can't tell me Kevin Durant on your team doesn't make you a better team.
Of course.
Okay,
it does.
so let's stop talking like that. Okay, we all always remember a theme, an ongoing theme. I'm going to set this now. Ongoing theme from here forward for anything that we ever talking about. There's levels to this shit. All right,
there is.
Durant on your team. I don't care how you say you're a good team. Durant on your team makes you a way better team. Kyrie Irving on your team playing on the court makes you a better team. Keep all of that off court shit. Makes you a better team. So again, the context was like, hey, we may not be the best trade package. This was Dinwiddie joking, right? But we're the best looking, and the Nets needed some help in that department. Okay. So when TNT asked about the comment, Thomas said, "I seen it, but I was like, he's just talking. Well, we already had good looking dudes, no homo," is what he says.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and so
funny.
the TNT sideline reporter,
I saw his
was
reaction,
like, all right.
the front office is gonna have fun.
I'm certain the league office is gonna have fun on this one. It's gonna enjoy this one. Like he realized that that what Thomas just stepped into, right? So then, like I said, soon after, Thomas went on Twitter and give us that quote there that I read. As apologies goes,
so absurd.
it's a good enough apology for what happened. Yeah. Sometimes you can read into people's apologies and be like, man, they didn't even mean that junk. Somebody he's reading that bit off of like off of a note card or something like that. But last year the NBA, a young NBA fan compiled 78 homophobic tweets sent by 36 players that were still live on their Twitter feed, and found 17 instances of no homo, right? As the fan had pointed this out, right? And so he put this up so you could there's a link. I'm not going to show the links, but people can look this up, right? Of all the instances where people on social media, where players on social media are using these slurs that have been deemed, hey, you don't say this stuff because it leads to othering of a certain community, right? And so the fans said that the no homo as a phrase promotes a negative connotation in regards to gay men, as if we are less than. This was what this guy was talking about. It's still extremely harmful, and anyone who thinks otherwise needs to wake up. If precedent holds, Thomas will be so he was fined. Nikola Jokic was fined $25,000 by the NBA for saying no homo during a post-game interview on Halloween
2018.
In 2018. So fines have gone up. Right?
Yeah,
2018.
clearly.
So fines have gone up.
Yeah.
And I'll push this one to the side and say the 40K don't matter. I don't think the 40K amount matters. We just mad that he got fined. Period. And so okay, granted, I see that people may be upset about that. All right, that he got fined, period. But here's where I'm going with it. As Black people,
I was literally gonna go there. That's exactly what I was.
No, you don't know. You don't know what I'm going there with. You don't go in.
I think I kind of do, but I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this.
I'm gonna let you rock.
As Black people, there is a soft skill. I'm gonna let the rest of y'all out behind the curtain here. Right, Black people already know what I'm talking about. There is a certain soft skill that we have grown to master. Well, the masters have elevated a lot more in industry, in whatever field that you're in. The masters of this soft skill have gone to greater heights, and you would do yourself well.
I like how you said this stuff.
You would do yourself well by practicing and getting coached on code switching.
Yeah.
Mind you, you gotta be able to do that bit at a code switch at a drop of a hat.
That's true.
Your media training, my guy. Your media training, for you to let something like that slip. You talk like that to your homeboys, and I get it. You talk like that amongst each other in the locker room. You talk about that on your phone, on your socials and stuff with people like that, in that manner, right? But with the microphones in your face, bro, you trying to get this paper, right? You trying to get this paper right. You can't say
Yep.
shit like that on the mic. You got to know you can't say.
Yeah.
Just like you ain't going to go on that microphone and drop F-bombs. And you ain't going to say
Mhm.
nigga. You ain't going to
Mhm.
say nigga on the
Mhm.
mic in an interview, you interviewing on TNT. But you and
Mhm.
me talking, you going to
Mhm.
say something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you got to know you can't say that shit on the
Mhm.
fucking mic on TNT. You're
Mhm.
gonna get fined. You're gonna
Mhm.
have people come after you, and they've labeled it as a slur. People who
So we can call
um
anything now.
people who are that,
Not fair.
well, I mean, people could come back and talk about and say nigga ain't a slur. What's wrong with saying nigga? And I'm gonna feel some
Mhm.
type of way about it.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're gonna have our pros, people that's gonna be for and
Mhm.
against, quote
Mhm.
unquote free speech and saying how you want to say whatever. But there's a
Mhm.
certain community, right? In
Mhm.
this instance, the gay community, right?
Mhm.
It's like, no, when you use terms like this,
Mhm.
it perpetuates the negativity of what it is of just being and existing as a gay person, right?
Mhm.
Be like, wait a minute, you might be
Are
a
they
good
are they
looking.
a
It's
are they
like
a race of people?
there, well, there's no community. See, that's why I use the term community.
Mhm.
Race ain't the only way people could be oppressed. Women ain't a
Oh
race
yeah,
of people.
no, I understand that. I understand that.
How's that relevant?
I'm just curious as far as like that comparison goes because, bro, like I do understand the code switching thing for sure. I definitely agree with that. And when I listen to a lot of these young boys, like I even listen to LaMelo Ball and his post game talk sometimes, and the way he be talking, I'll be like, bro, I think you need a little bit more media training. Like some of these young kids for sure, they definitely need it. They definitely need it, right? I just feel like there is a an oversensitive reaction to these things. That's just like,
That's
bro,
because it's not you.
no, but it's bro,
It's because it's not you.
it's
You know. You know.
I guess. I guess.
You know.
I just think in general, I think in general, not just that community, I think in general, this society has become overly sensitive to a lot of things. It's like you can't even talk.
That may
I
be.
just feel like you
That
can't even
may.
talk.
That may
I
be
feel
the
like in general,
case.
like it's I just think it's absurd. It's like, really, you gonna find it? I can see if you pull him to the side and be like, yo, you can't, but immediately you gonna find him 40K, bro. Come on.
Well,
Like
they already
y'all
have
tweaking.
precedent. They already have precedent for finding people for doing that
I
same
get
thing on the
that.
mic.
I get that. I get
On the
that.
mic. You
I
know what I
get
mean?
that.
And
Mm,
it's I don't, it may be different if there's something that they tweeted or
mm,
they put it on Instagram or something like that, but like
mm,
we got the precedence. This is what happens when you say this on the mic.
mm,
If you say this thing on the mic, you're gonna get fined. All right. The one thing I was gonna say earlier, people talk about, oh, you shouldn't have fined them that much. Well, these are the prices. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
mm,
And also, that dude is not hurting for money. Granted, he's
mm.
on a what is it? I think he's still on. Is he still on a rookie contract?
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds,
He still gets a couple million a year.
mm,
Okay, he still gets a
mm.
couple million a year. That 40K, he ain't gonna feel that. All right, he ain't
Man,
gonna feel that in the grand scheme of things. He ain't gonna feel that. Like,
I
it
guess 40K
sucks. I
ain't
don't want to pay taxes more than I have to, and I can assure that's a
40K
tax
is still
that
some
that fool
bread.
does not want to pay. He just got to pay that
Mm.
40,000. He does not want
I
to pay
bet he
that.
might try to appeal that joint though.
You
You can
could, yeah,
say
he
that,
should.
but
I mean,
I
he could
bet he gonna
try.
try
He
to
could
appeal
try,
that.
and you know what I mean. Hopefully
Man.
it gets reversed
Mm,
specifically because
mm.
well, I mean, especially because he did apologize. So he put out the
He did.
apology.
He
You know
did.
what I mean? He did it
He did.
early. He wasn't trying to drag it out and trying to be like, no, I shouldn't have said that,
I just
or
think
no,
all
no,
this stuff is just
I
creating
should be
a
able to
slippery
say
slope.
that or create a
It
whole.
just
He just stopped digging a hole. And he's like, fuck it, I'm
mm.
just gonna apologize. I shouldn't have said it
Yeah,
because
and that was smart on his part. That was smart. That was
well,
smart
but
on his
this is the
part.
same thing.
But
Well,
mm.
is the
So I give him that.
why I think people. This is why I started off by saying I'm going to credit him to say that this apology is his words.
Mm-hmm.
So I credit him with that because I'm also crediting was it Bradbury who the holding call was against. He
Yeah. I mean,
said it himself. He
yeah. You
said
gotta respect that.
I
You gotta
held.
respect that. Yeah,
All
no, you
right. And
gotta
so
respect
this
that.
guy is saying
That's fair.
I've he got a flag thrown on him play by saying no homo. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? They threw a flag
Mm-hmm.
on this play and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
he came out and apologized. So like
Okay.
he accepts that he did this. So if we could take him
Mm-hmm.
by his word and be like, yo, I shouldn't have said that, and I'm apologizing for it. So here's the fine. he may
I'm
appeal.
not taking away the responsibility. I'm not taking away responsibility. I'm not saying that. I'm just.
Well,
I
you
just
kind of
think
are
that
if you're saying
no,
this shouldn't
really.
be. Nobody should be feeling no type of way because we're too sensitive. So
No,
don't blame him.
what
Blame us
I'm
because we're too sensitive. That's what you're saying.
well, I guess I'm partly saying I'm partly saying that there is a oversensitive, overarching nature that I'm seeing in society, where people are being overly sensitive about certain things. Like I do believe that is absolutely the case in today's society, especially with censorship in all these different areas that are increasing every day. Now, granted, you made a good point as far as like communities and different terms, things like that, that they may feel some kind of way about it. All right, cool. I just feel like this is going to create a ridiculous slippery slope where
Oh God, the slippery slope argument.
that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I'm just saying
if we let niggas vote, it's gonna be a slippery slope. If we let niggas in Congress, it's gonna be a slippery slope. If we let black people, if we give black people their full
like
autonomy, it's gonna be a slippery slope. Like it's all people can always run to the slippery slope argument as a way to not have progress, as a way to not progress. They like things the way they are, and if we allow a little bit more for accommodation for this group, it's a slippery slope. Next thing you know, men are going to be marrying horses. Like just slippery. Like that bit ain't one for one like that. That bit ain't gonna just be slippery slope like that for people.
No, I'm saying that's I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm saying that it creates a larger possibility of that being the case. But I'm also going to ask this of you as well. Does increased censorship mean progress?
Respect, but see, I reject the premise because it's not increased censorship. It's the expansion of respect. That's all that is. Okay. The expansion of who you respect, of who you don't demean, of who you accept them as they are and are willing to adjust accordingly because you didn't respect them before, but because of a certain era, whatever it was, and now you can respect it because you're realizing that these are fully equal and autonomous human beings. So you expand your window of respect and what you're willing to accommodate for these people. For example,
but he's clearly not demeaning them here, though. Like he literally said it was in a playful manner. Like he's clearly not demeaning these people here.
But it's the same thing, just like when people talk about when people say all my accountants are Jewish, right? You might say there's no disrespect there, there's no demeaning there, but ask the Jewish community, right? What is it about that makes would make them feel like that is like that's kind of demeaning when you say that? It ain't, you're not Hitler. Nobody's calling you Hitler because you said that. But what it perpetuates is this thing about Jewish people love money. They would do whatever for money. They would do all kinds of immoral things to accumulate money. Okay. That is all part of that conversation. You didn't say that latter part, right? But that beginning part is it's in the outer skirts of that conversation. And people that have that later conversation about really demeaning the Jewish community in these sorts of ways, they say things like that as well. Like, yeah, and that's why they're all accountants. That's how they would end their sentence, right? And for you didn't go through that whole diatribe that they did, they just did, but you're using some of the same words that these people are using. And so for the thing about saying no homo, right? When and I'm not of that community, so I can't speak for them, right? But from me trying to educate myself on their existence and the way they traverse public spaces with the rest of us, from what I've learned from them is that is part of a term, part of a sentiment that that adds to what ends up happening later, where they get hunted, they get killed, they get discriminated at jobs. Like all of that feeds into like it might be a little seed, but it's a bunch of these little seeds that come out and it grows this plant of bigotry. And they're saying, yeah, no homo might seem like a little throwaway line that that some people may throw around, right? But there could be damage that happens in the long run, and that community is telling us, "Hey, we are harmed by this." So I'm gonna believe them when they say they're harmed by that. But here's what I kind of want to ask you though about the whole no homo comment. So the reason he's saying that, to translate that for you non-AAV speaking people out there, right? What he's saying is that I think he's saying this, yo, man, male masculinity is so fucking fragile, right? Like niggas just see
I disagree, but okay.
I think niggas is fragile. Niggas is so fragile. Niggas see something.
Okay.
Really, if we translate what he's saying here, is that we have good looking guys on our team as well. That's all he's saying. Bro, no one thinks you're gay when you say that. It's okay. But what he had to do is he had to pause. Pause. This is what we do, and like he doesn't have to do it for TNT, but this is what we do in like our locker rooms. Right. Yeah. We're saying, Idris Elba is a good looking guy. But wait, just so you know, I am not gay. This is it. That's all we're doing. When we say pause, when we say no homo, that's what we're saying. You're just saying I am not, like, bro, it's okay. Imagine just coming out and saying I am not gay when you said that. You'd be like, nigga, nobody.
That's extra. That's being extra.
But niggas are that fragile. Niggas are that
I don't think that's.
Where it's become a second nature part of our conversation, where we need to reassure each other every time we talk to each other that we are not gay. I am here to announce yet again I am not gay. And pause, because I said the word gay. That kind of makes me gay because gay was in my mouth. Oh my God, am I gay? I said gay. Like, bro, these fools talk about slippery slope. These fools finna turn themselves inside out. Dog, trying to convince the world that they're not gay. It's okay. Nobody thinks you're gay because you said this guy or your team is a good-looking team, or this guy is a good-looking guy.
I honestly, I don't even think it's that deep, to be honest. I do not think it's that deep. I think it's literally just to eliminate any implication. Just eliminate any implication. That could probably be the reason, right? Just eliminate any implication of that being the case. I'm just gonna add this at the end of my sentence and keep it pushing.
But I
really think it just stops there. Like I don't think it has. Okay. I really don't think it has anything.
No, we gotta unwrap it. We gotta unravel it.
No. We can definitely do that. We
gotta unravel it. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying that. You saying okay? So you said just to remove any doubt, I'm gonna add this little throwaway little piece just to remove any doubt. But like, what is the harm if somebody thought you was gay?
What is the harm?
What is the harm to you, Jeff, if somebody thinks you might be gay? You ain't say a word to them. You didn't come around them. They ain't never see before today. They just walk into the room, into existence. Boom, you exist. Boom, and they think, could he be gay? Is he gay? Not to say that I'm taking all the extreme stuff that people would point out. You're not wearing a skirt or dress or makeup. I'm just you right now. Just somebody thought you are gay. What's the harm in that?
For me in particular, obviously, with my belief system, it goes against my belief system.
No. See,
I thought you wanted me to run down the whole gamut.
No. I'm gonna stop. Okay. What is the harm if somebody thinks you are gay? That's the question.
What is the harm?
What is harm if somebody thinks you are gay?
I think if you come off as a person who operates like a heterosexual person, there is a level of like, especially when it comes to since we're kind of harping on masculinity as well. There is this, which I believe is happening a lot too, this feminization of men. And men who really take pride in being a man and what a man is, and really see the importance of masculinity, whether that's in the home, whether that's in relationships, whether that's in life, just manhood in general. You may feel offended by that because it's almost like you're putting that person's manhood in question.
That's right? So the fragility I'm talking about, but that's there.
but that's not.
That's the fragility I'm talking about right there. So either you agree that men are fragile as fuck when it comes to their masculinity, or you say that no, it's nothing. My masculinity is so strong that.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that respond to that.
What is the harm? That's the question. What is the harm if somebody else thinks that you are gay? I'm talking to you, Mr. Thomas. If somebody out there that when you said okay, that what do you say? What do you say? He go. What was he say? He said we may not.
I think people don't want to be characterized as something that they're not. I think that's what it is. Like that's how I look at it. I don't want to be characterized as something that I'm not.
Okay.
So as far as the harm,
who is characterizing him? Who is characterizing him like that?
That's a good question. Anyone that could be obviously listening to the conversation, anyone who's a part of this friend group.
So you're saying he's harm, okay, all right. So I think you did answer the question. So you're saying that he is, or an individual, or you specifically, you are harmed because the perception.
Term, but I see what you're saying.
It's all about, like, I'm all about doing less harm, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Where possible. So you're saying that he is harmed, or some piece of him is harmed by this perception that you say you want to portray. Somebody perceives that wrongly, and you are harmed because that person perceived your perception that you're trying to portray wrongly. You are harmed. So Thomas could have been harmed because somebody thinks, yo, is that guy gay? And that harms Thomas. Somehow that harms his perception of himself and what he's trying to put out into the world in terms of his representation of who he is.
I don't think that harms him, but I think it creates a for him it probably creates like a bit of a misdiagnosis of his identity and who he identifies as. And
so you're saying mentally for himself, he might think I might be gay.
So I mean that's a possibility, right? Because that's a possibility.
So I need to reassure myself. I need to reassure myself that I'm not gay by saying no homo. You fragile ass nigga.
Fragile ass nigga. I was just gonna. That was one of the things I was gonna mention, right? So it could stem from that, or again, the people who know him or his family.
So you think his family don't know him enough to, like, they heard him say this one thing, and they're like, wait a minute, he might be gay.
So now you're trying to straw man me. I'm giving you several areas.
And I'm trying to play it out like as you lay. I'm trying to play it out and see how that
no, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, I think all these come into account, right? I think all these come into account. I don't think it's a trigger in a person's mind, in a mind of a man that's like, oh, my masculinity is under attack. I don't think that's how guys are going.
All right, here you go. I'm gonna set you up.
They going about.
I've been saying all this to set you up, right? I'm gonna set you up. All right. All right. So you're on the train, right? You're going to work.
Okay.
Right? You're looking clean because you're professional. You know what I'm saying? You keep your line up.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? You got your boots, you know what I'm saying? You got the overcoat because it's a little chilly or whatnot, you know what I'm talking about? And it's early in the day, you know what I mean? So you just cleaned up, you know what I mean? You're fresh, you know what I mean? Everything is all, you know, where it's supposed to be on you, right? Your boy is clean. And some dude approaches you on the train, and he's like, yo, I love that outfit. Right? That's part one. Second part, yo, dude, I love that outfit. Bro, do you want to grab a drink sometime? Hey.
Pause.
You ain't see? Hold on. So this is my question to you. But let me pose this question. So I laid out the scenario.
Yeah.
All right. How do you Jeff,
How would I handle that? Okay.
handle that?
Listen, for me, I would have told cuz like, yo, I'm good. I don't rock with that. That's not my thing. Hey, but I appreciate the comment. You know what I'm saying? I'm a keep it moving. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Like that. That's how I would.
Okay, let's pause right there.
I have media training.
Okay.
I have media training.
Beautiful. But guess what?
So that's
but
a
guess
difference.
what?
Yeah.
But guess what just
Yeah.
happened though?
Mhm.
That's a good way to respond. That's how I would respond.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, bro, it's not me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's-
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know, I did
yeah.
put the thing together. I
Yeah.
appreciate it though. You know what I mean? I appreciate the compliment. You know what I mean? I thought I looked fly. Somebody told me I look fly. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So yeah, that's how I reply. But one thing you said a second ago, right? A little bit ago. How were you, Jeff, harmed in that scenario? That guy thought he might have had a shot. He tried to holler at you.
that's obviously because he
might have had a shot. He shot his shot.
Mhm.
So that means what I was asking earlier, what harm comes to Jeff by somebody thinking that Jeff might be gay? So Jeff, what harm came to you in that scenario?
No, I mean there was no harm that came to me.
So why does
this is the reason why
randomly have to feel like he has to tell the world I'm not gay? Like, by the way, I'm complimenting perhaps the good-looking teammates that I have, but I have to, because I might be harmed because people out there might think I'm gay.
See,
make it make sense.
You see, you're using the term harmed, which I don't think is the right way to look at it. Like it's not. I don't think it's harm. It's just.
But you kind of agree with it.
No. I agree I agree that I wasn't harmed, but there is an effect though. I think there is an effect, right? I think there is an effect where, again, like I said before, the implication and a person being categorized as something that they're not. I think there's an effect that could cause, right? Now, obviously, being a guy who's played in, obviously being a guy who's played sports and all that stuff, this is something that's just commonly said. Like you talk, and this is something that's said. I think largely that's what happened with Cam Thomas. Like it's like he was just talking to his teammates or whatever, and yeah, it's just something that's.
Well, he was talking to his teammates. He was talking to the
right. But I'm saying in a statement like this, in a statement like that, like what they were talking about in a statement like that, it's not surprising. Probably somebody in the locker room probably would have heard that same statement and be like, oh, whoa, pause. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody would have said something like that, right? So like it's obviously something that he says commonly. Okay. But I think it's obvious that it's something that he says commonly, right? It's pretty obvious. But like I think it comes from that place though, where just that implication. So not necessarily like he's.
But you're talking about just the implication. That's like that's such a fragile space. Just for the slight implication that I might be gay.
Is it
that might be gay? It does.
Is that
fragile? Bro, it's gotta be like this. It's gotta be like this. It's gotta be like this. If I if I'm not kissing another dude or grabbing and holding on to his butt or something like that, then I don't need to be concerned about am I gay or am I perceived as gay or anything like that.
That's fair.
It's gotta be. It's a low ass bar, bro. If you're talking about just having a good looking team where you gotta feel like you gotta reinforce your masculinity. Like just by saying I have a good looking team. You can't even say that. You can't even say that. Like, bro, like, okay, it's one thing if like y'all hugging dick to dick or something, y'all holding on a little too tight or something like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying because maybe y'all into that thing, maybe you're gay. But like if that's the thing, if you're like, okay, I was hugging this guy extra long, and our pelvis was touching extra long, but I happen to not be gay, so perceptibly I could see that people might think I'm gay. Okay, first of all, like I said, my stance is so what if people think I'm gay? That does nothing for me, right? if I'm gay, I'll be like, yo, I'll live my truth. Well, a lot of gay people can't live their truth. There's been several, and I think there's several gay men in the NBA now that they know what happens as soon as you come out in any sport as gay, right? You can't be a black man and be gay in sports. It ain't happening and not survive, and last more than a season.
Okay.
Right? Not out in the open. Right? Okay, so we feel that okay, so you specifically kind of saying people, and a lot of people think this thing too, like, yo, it's not that big of a deal, you know. So what, people perceive that kind of thing. They don't want to be perceived in a way that they're not, they haven't carried themselves in a particular way, and they don't want to perceive that way. So I'll say the same thing like this, and I'll bring this up. I'll go back to the race thing. Is I've had a white lady cross the street when I walk down the street.
That's happened to me before too.
I've seen the lady clutch her purse a little bit tight if I'm in the elevator just with her.
Yep.
I've had that happen to me. But that's nowhere near. I feel so disrespect. Like, bitch, I make more than you. Trust me. Like, I don't need your shit.
Big facts.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't need to be
big facts. Yeah.
Like, so I'm thinking this, of course, because the perception that I've carried myself and how I live my life and what I've been able to, the place I've been able to put myself. And she is perceiving me as something that I am not.
Something that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when she does that, I'm like, fuck it.
Does that harm your self-worth though?
But
since you want to use the word harm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like,
so you're saying
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question.
Okay.
I'm saying she could feel all that she won't. White supremacy is going white supremacy. All that they want.
That's a fact.
So my daily life, your daily life, walking around in this skin, right? We get the perception about who we are and what we can bring to the table, what we're worth, what we're not, what we're capable of, what we're not. Fuck all that. Our perception precedes us before we even walk into the goddamn room.
Yes.
So if moving off of that energy of what we think other people think about us, if we really lived all that, we would not be able to get out of fucking bed. So if you ain't, because he's a black guy, he's not thinking about all that other shit when he's signing those deals with Brooklyn. He's not thinking about that joint when he's signing Nike or whoever his shoe deal with, right? He's not thinking about all of those ways that those people are perceiving him as a black man in America. But for this specific subject matter, you care enough to keep saying no homo, to keep saying pause. You care enough because that small little perception, you gotta knock. Niggas can't even eat hot dogs. Y'all niggas can't even eat hot dogs. Niggas can't even enjoy a wiener in their mouth. For God's sakes.
Yo,
without niggas freaking trolling them.
Yo, but it's funny though.
But it's rooted. It may be funny, but it's rooted in
this
trauma that these niggas are like really are terrified of being be mistakenly by any circumstance or happenstance to be maybe gay. Yo.
Okay. No, you know what? I mean, listen, I'm objective. I'm a highly objective person. I hear what you're saying. I definitely can see, based on the points that you presented, I can see how this can be indicative of people, or black men in particular, with fragile masculinity. I can see why you can make that point. I don't view it in that way.
You don't have to.
No, I know, and that's the.
But your media training,
right?
Your media training will tell you next time you do a presentation at work, you ain't gonna say no homo in the presentation.
And that's a fact because of the nature of my job and the different places I've been at, the different presentations I've given, the type of people that I work with. I have training in this area, and I know, like, I can recognize that. So I get that. Like, I get that. I view it differently, but I do understand what you're saying, though. But I did want to ask you this question, though. You really think that the average person doesn't think about how people perceive them?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm asking you, like, generally.
Okay, no, I don't answer the question. What's the question again?
Do you think the average person doesn't care or consider what other people think of them, or how they're perceived?
I think a lot of people don't care what other people what other people think about them. There's that.
Really?
I think there's a lot of people. I'm not gonna make that a blanket thing. I'm gonna go on the other side too and say this though, that people may be aware that people might think this about them or think that about them, right? Matter of fact, some people are even told, especially if you're a celebrity, people will tell you what they think about you, right? They'll put it in the comments, right? Of everything you post, they'll tell you what they think about you. Yep. So yeah, you can be aware, but it's different. And so here's where I think I might defer from people that are like diehard, feel like they gotta prove their masculinity all the time, is that I'm aware, I may be aware, or even if it's a race, if it's at job, whatever, if it's a race conversation, I'm aware, of course, how people may perceive me because of their own bias or whatever they come into the space with before they even met me. Yeah, but I'm sure of who I am. I know who I am, and I love myself, right? And what people's perception of me ain't, unless I'm behaving in harmful ways, right? But if I feel like I'm living my best life with integrity, people's perception of me, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me adopt a behavior of saying things like no homo or pause or anything like, because I don't need to adopt that behavior because somebody else might think that I might be gay. I don't care. Like if you have creative criticism for me about my work or some way I talk to people or something like that, or we could chat about that, you know what I mean? And I can care, especially if it's my loved ones that's telling me stuff like that, how to improve myself, you know what I mean, how to develop better in my career or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's just like the lady crossing the street because you think I'm a thug. I'm not gonna have her. I'm not gonna start tucking my shirt in. And I'm not gonna start freaking combing my hair because of these fucking perceptions that people fucking have. And I'm not gonna stop, you know what I mean, loving on my black friends, my black male friends, without them thinking whoever thinking I'm gay because I'm showing love to my brother. If people may think that all they want, I do not care what their perception. Everybody watching this could be thinking I'm gay. This nigga gay. That does fucking nothing for me. That does nothing to me. There's nothing for me. I don't give a shit what people think about. I know who I am, and I'm secure enough in myself, and that's why I'm calling those type of behaviors. I think those type of behaviors is just fucking fragile. It's just fragile. These niggas need to reassure themselves. I'm man. I actually have penis. You know what I mean? Like okay, dude. Like
I don't think it's that deep. But I see.
If you break it down, it's that deep. If you just look at it on the surface, if you just look at it on the surface, you don't think it's that deep. But we just spoke about it for 20 goddamn minutes. I guess it wasn't that deep. The vibe this time around is a little different. And I don't usually do this, but I watched a concert on YouTube. And so that's what I'm recommending. Yeah, I mean, there's different shows and stuff you could find on there, like performances. And I don't usually like, I mean, I like going to a concert, right? And I like listening to music albums, but in terms of watching a concert on the YouTubes or on streaming or something like that, I don't really have ever done it. Actually, did I do that for? No, but I mean, like I was gonna say, Beyonce's Lemonade album. She put out that she had that visual that came out with it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That was amazing. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a concert, but it was like it was like a movie, a musical, for example. You know what I mean, like that. But in terms of a concert, because I really don't be liking, I don't listen to concert when they have like live recordings those albums come out, like, oh, Live at the Fillmore or something like that. Like,
Oh, okay, I got you.
I don't like
Yeah.
listening to them. The sound quality just be like, oh, I feel like and I'm not that big on sound quality, but like you can hear, like I feel like I'm on the cheap seats. Like I can get better, you know what I mean? It's like it's not like the minuscule differences between listening to a regular studio album and a concert recording. It's a world of a difference. So I don't really like, but Saba, West Side Chicago,
Okay.
right? Um, and I listened to his 2018 set in Chicago at Pitchfork, right? He performed at Pitchfork, and he was already coming up in the game, you know, before this. So he already had some music out there, but this was still, I would still call this young Saba, right? Matter of fact, his locks, right? His locks don't even come to his ears,
Okay.
right? At Pitchfork in 2018, right? And now he's got, he's got some, some good shoulder length going whatever right now. So like you can see his evolution. Matter of fact, he even talks about it in one of the songs, right? Like he said something like, "Oh, I think I'm dreadhead. I think I'm Jamaican." Something like I dropped the brush and I picked up a comb, right? So he could lock his hair, whatever. Right? So he just has a line like that. So even he speaks about that evolution of that, and bro, the music is so good. It's so, and I heard an interview about this, and he kind of finds it offensive to label his stuff, but bro, you're not country. You're not classic rock.
What does he want to be labeled as?
He doesn't want to be labeled, but what it sounds like, and that's why I caveat that by saying it sounds like jazz rap. It sounds like jazz rap. Like if you listen, if it was just the instrumental, you'd be thinking I'm playing some jazz music. The bass line, the freaking soft freaking drums and everything, right? Like it's got some trumpets and there's some soft trumpet and maybe a trombone, and it's like, bro, this is jazz. That's jazz. And you rapping over it.
That's basically jazz.
You rapping over it. And he is spitting fire over it, bro. He is spitting fire, and he's not giving you these regular lines and bars that's like predictable. He's unpredictable. You don't know which word specifically supposed to gonna be rhyming in a little bit later out of this.
I see how he's I see.
But he's finna do it, and he's finna get you with it, and just like, oh snap! I didn't even know. You know what I mean? And it's not one of those things where like where you say I'm such and such, like such and such. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm doing this like such and such. You don't even have to use the simile in kind of the conversation. He's just like
he'll rhyme with the first line and then go to two different other rhymes and then come back to rhyme,
and it just happens to rhyme. You know what I mean? And he's storytelling while he's doing all of this, right? And it's all to like some fucking smooth jazz. It's all just smooth jazz, right? But the dudes, but the juxtaposition that gets me is when he gets. Like he puts on a hype track, right?
Okay.
And by hype, I mean the jazz still be smooth, but like the song, if you put Lil Jon on the place would freaking just go like if Lil Jon was doing with the same track, right? The place would go freaking nuts, right? But like he has a way and a certain inflection and a certain delivery that gets the sentiment across. Like I can't believe I'm headbanging to some fucking jazz. What the hell is going on? My neck, I can't control it, right? Yo, he's giving that fucking energy, and this 2018 set is really is a bop. He has another one. He performed at Something in the Water in DC, where this is later on after he had a couple of albums out, and it's like it's a decent show, but there was something about the authenticity of the young version of him. You know what I mean? Doing that. So would you still watch the other one?
Would you see him in concert? Like if he had like a show here?
If he's in Something in the Water, I will go see that. I will go see him. I will go see him even now. And I get it. I'm not gonna get the same flavor completely as a 2018, but like he has he has great breath work, right?
Okay.
So at least he exhibited more in 2018 because the newest concert, the newest one I saw, I think it was 2022. Was that Something in the Water? 2022? It might have been 2022. And he's not going off the way he was before. You know what I mean? He would go off and he would like do his right because he's bro, Twister's from West Side Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? Twister's on one of his tracks. You know what I mean?
Hey, Twister still rapping?
Twister does features and stuff like that. I think Twister actually had an album that came out, if not last year, the year before.
Ah, man, I thought he went into like doing like producer stuff and all that.
Well, Chance is on there, but Chance is from Southside.
Yeah.
But I think Saba's probably like, and I mean, and I'm not. By the way, so the latest album he had is came out last year. I think that's probably what I was thinking was A Few Good Things. It came out last year. And that's when I first got onto him, was last year. So this isn't a new album, but it's available wherever music is found, whatever, and y'all can find it there. But I'm just revisiting this album, right? Which I loved. And his first album, Bucket List, amazing, right? All his work is good. But particularly for the vibe, it was watching this performance. That's the type of performance that dude had. No production on there. It's just him. His brother is his DJ, and he's on that stage murking it. And that was his first time, I think he said, that year performing back in Chicago after going on tour, right? So he freaking just left it all on the table, right? And so I think he is a vibe. That whole performance is a vibe. Also check out his music. I'll post the latest album, which was from last year, but specifically the vibe this time is go check out that concert from 2018, his set on Pitchfork. I'll say this, and I'll prepare you in advance. The audience is hella white. It's 99% white. And he says nigga a lot.
It sounds like he enjoys making white people feel black.
And I don't know if he pulls a Kendrick at any point. Not on this performance. I don't think he ever does it. But Kendrick gave the mic to somebody one time, and you know what I mean? They thought they could let that N-word fly, right? So,
wow.
It sucks. He's a black guy. It sucks that maybe we are consuming his music. And we are keeping him thriving, and we're keeping him fed and keeping him paid and employed. But at least at his shows, we're not there. And there might be a lot of gatekeeping there because the price of these tickets is like that. Like, I'm interested in seeing what's these demographics.
Yeah.
What's these demographics for the Beyonce concert? Beyonce's going on tour. What's that demographic like? As much as we know, it's Black America that is really, keeping her afloat like that. You know what I mean? In terms of fanhood, what's access looking like? Who's gatekeeping this? You know what I mean? Do Black people get to enjoy this set? You know what I mean? At any point, the way like all these white folks is out there. I mean, thanks for the bread. Thanks for giving my boy the bread. Appreciate that. But there's something that don't sit right with my spirit, knowing that like that black folks can't really be front and center and showing that kind of love and support for these artists when they're live, even though that's us that's buying their music. It's us that's going to the local dive bars and supporting them.
This is the thing though, but I've been hearing a little different as far as today's listeners and consumers go when it comes to music consumption, which we know a lot of Black appropriation. It happens a lot in the music industry. But it seems like that there is, and I've heard this in different spaces, that the majority of consumers are actually white folks.
Well, by sheer numbers, they're going to be the majority.
I mean, logistically, logistically, that's going to be the case.
But in terms of the percentage-wise,
I've been hearing specifically, but even just like hip hop rap, they're the larger consumer. I'm not sure how true it is, but I've heard that they are the larger base.
But that's
when it comes to hip hop and rap.
Okay, but that's not the That's not
That is really
surprising. It
weird.
wouldn't be surprising. It's not weird.
But yeah,
It's not weird.
I'm not surprised either. You're
It's
right.
not
I'm
weird because
surprised about that.
depending on how you say it, depending on
Mhm.
what it is the statistic is, right? And
Okay.
so here's what the question is: out of the percentage of the 100% population of white people, what
Mhm.
is rap and hip hop's popularity amongst all music listenership amongst white people? That population, and see what percentage
Okay.
that is.
Okay.
And then you see, out of black people, what is the percentage of hip hop consumption out of all music consumption amongst
It's
black
like
people?
99 points.
That's the one-to-one. That's properly doing your science.
Yeah,
right
I know.
there.
Yeah.
Not to say, oh, they have a
That's fair.
bigger number of people. No, that's not. It's
That's
about
fair.
because they have physically more people. So
Yeah.
more people are
gonna
that
consume
are
music,
white
sure.
are going to be consumers of music. But like, what is the percentage of people that support them? So like, what is the percentage of people that was on
Yeah, that's fair.
to
That's fair.
the Bucket List album? You know what I mean? When it first, which was his first album, Bucket List. What was the percent? What was the audience for that one?
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and what was the full listenership for that? But then we can also see, well, what is his audience at these live shows?
Mhm.
And we see these audience for these live shows we look in the audience and it's like it's
Yeah, it's a
99%
lot of white
white.
folks. Yeah.
But don't be distracted because they do show the audience several times because they're getting into it. They're getting hyped to it. But hey, I'll also say this: I'll credit y'all white people because y'all know good music apparently. Because
Fair enough.
this Saba is lit. Saba is probably the next best thing to come out of at least the West Side since Twister, probably. The West Side Chicago, you know, since Twister. So, you know, big up to him, big up to his crew.
I mean, there's a lot of guys out of Chicago that's popping as much as Twister.
See, you're not listening.
Okay, so out of West Side Chicago.
West Side Chicago.
Out of West Side Chicago. Okay.
I was very particular.
All right.
I'm not
all right,
trying to go
right.
crazy over here. All right. All right, then, folks, we did it. Got another one in the books. Thanks for joining us again on this journey while we unfold some of these things here. The Super Bowl, we wrapped that one up, recapped that, and of course we talked about my man's Cam Thomas and his comments. You know, and he needs some media training. So, but
absolutely,
best believe I'm code switching as soon as I hit that clock. Come Monday. Well, tomorrow's a holiday, but yo, I got my training. Get yours. But that's it, man. We got another one in the books. Mission accomplished. I've been Darwin Messidou. Find me again on Twitter at Darwin_Darko.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. And that's my IG. So if you want to check me out on IG, for sure, you can find me at that same handle there. And of course, once again, just as a reminder, check us out on our socials, man, on IG, TikTok, and YouTube. It's at Another Challenge Day.
Like and subscribe.
With that being said, yeah, like and subscribe for sure. Like button, you know what I'm saying? Turn on your notifications because we're going to be dropping clips and videos. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the game that you need. The game that you need to thrive. So
give you some media training.
Yeah, for real.
Do not use this podcast for media training.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right. See you next time.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.
It's Challenge Day.